Well, good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. How's it hanging, everybody, in our fair city? It's good to be here. Is it? Is it good to be here?
It was a bummer about last night's game being rained out and all.
Yes. If only Crash Davis could have gotten us a rain out in San Francisco. I thought it was supposed to rain in San Francisco all the time. Rains more here, apparently. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Rindo. He's our executive producer, sits to my right. In the background of Paul Rindo. Oh, you can't see it yet. We haven't lit the, there it is. We haven't lit the star yet. We've got a new addition to the Ben and Woods studio. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. My wife said it looked like a satanic, some sort of satanic
pentagram.
Well, yes, but some satanic deal. And it's not. It's the Sarah Langs ALS star. And I ordered one for the show and for the studio, hoping to bring us some good luck. Now, hopefully that luck starts today. We love Sarah Langs. As you know, she's suffering from ALS, just keeps the most positive attitude of really any person I think I've ever talked to. And they were on ALS on Lou Gehrig's Day. They were selling those. It was like $60, $60 donation, all goes to benefit ALS. And they sent me that cool star with a note from Carl Ravitch in it because he's kind of spearheading the whole thing. So when I bought it, Benny, I thought it was about yay big, maybe about 6 inches wide, 6 inches tall. It's
quite large.
I got to the door yesterday. I'm like, what is this giant package? Did somebody order a life-size home plate or something? And I opened it up. I went, oh, it's the Sarah Langs star. So we're going to have it. We're going to illuminate that. We're going to keep that one lit in the studio.
It looks like a big Christmas decoration.
Yeah, it does. Like it goes on the top of the tree. Yeah. Under the tree this year, I'd like a whole fresh new bullpen, AJ Preller. That'd be fabulous. If we're taking requests, Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, is here. Also happens to be National Vanilla Milkshake Day. So there you go.
Are you calling me a big vanilla milkshake?
The coincidences are out of control.
Is that the food that best describes Ben Higgins? He's just, he's a vanilla milkshake.
I'm
sweet.
Yeah, sweet.
Kind of thick.
Absolutely delicious.
Not boldly flavored. Delicious, but not boldly flavored.
There's no Oreo cookies crumbled up in there. There's sprinkles on there. It's a vanilla.
There's nothing wrong with a vanilla milkshake.
Bro, I actually prefer a vanilla milkshake. I really do.
I love a good vanilla milkshake.
Love a good vanilla milkshake. Kind of, you feel a little bit healthy because it feels a little bit like you're drinking milk. I do. I'm like, this is milk. Holy cow. So
I'm not living in that state of delusion that
I am.
I know I'm drinking a
just
milkshake.
because there isn't a squirt of chocolate syrup in it that all of a sudden it becomes healthy. Sorry, but
I'm living there. Let's light that sucker, Paulie.
As I told you, need to find an extension cable.
Well, can we unplug the Hillbilly song?
They don't need it today. They didn't win.
This
so
cord is
very short.
We need a longer cord.
Oh, okay. So we need a little extra length, is what you're saying. We could also use some extra length in our bullpen.
I mean, I could just Luis Garcia it.
Yeah. Well, if you Luis Garcia it'd be broken into a million pieces. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. This is supposed to be our foreplay segment, and it is. It is our foreplay segment for sure. But yeah, last night was a tough one to swallow. That's for sure. Like the opposite of vanilla milkshake is very easy to swallow. Just like you. You're easy. You go down easy. In my opinion, you're easy to work with, easy to talk with. In fact, our buddy Jay Paris, what's the name of his publication?
Coast News Group of some sort.
Yes, the Coast News. He texted me and said, I'd like to do a piece on you and Ben Higgins. Now, Ben and I, egomaniacs that we are, we said, absolutely. Actually, Paulie, I said, yes, here's Ben's number. I surprised Ben with this yesterday, right?
No, he had contacted me a couple of days before too. I think he reached out to us separately, and both set up a call at a similar time.
And did we both forget to notify the other person? We did.
I forgot to tell you that he was going to call.
So he called yesterday.
Well, actually, I thought it was just going to be a profile on me.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and then you would be thrown in a little bit, but I guess it's on both of us.
It was on both of us. So he called me first, actually, probably because he wanted the real story.
Yeah, no, you always interview the other pieces around before interviewing the main subject to get some background information to, prepare yourself for the main interview.
Well,
you interview the other guys.
He did ask me So what's it like to work with Ben? I said, it's a snap. It's a breeze. Piece of cake. Guy comes in a good mood every day. And, it was great. So we'll see how that piece turns out. I hope he doesn't do a hatchet job on us. But I love Jay. He's a really, really nice guy. And we love to see our name in print. It's like everyone always talks about these dying mediums. We're in a dying medium. I've been in this dying medium for 14 years and on the verge maybe of adding a few years to that. I'll take that every day. I'll take a dying. If somebody said to you, you're dying, but you still feel great. And you still do all the things that you wanted to do. And you go 17 years, you'll take that, yeah? But you're dying. Because guess what? We're all dying. Everyone's dying.
That's true. Yes.
I died. I'm more dead today than I was yesterday. But, this piece will come out. We'll share it with you guys when we see it. I'm sure it'll be well done. But, yeah, it was fun.
I know. I was talking to him, and he kind of brought up the point of, the longevity of the show. And in my mind, I feel like we're still kind of a new show. It's weird.
It is weird
because we've been together.
We've been together
over
5 years.
5 years now, and
it's a long time in radio.
Really, in especially in sports radio, there's only been a handful of people in this market that have been on the air, more than 5 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, Coach has been around forever. There's been a couple of other shows that have stood the test of time. But yeah, most shows come and go in a year or two. But the fact
I've said it to people that don't know anything about it.
Amazing, yeah.
I say, we've been a show for 5 years, and I don't know, it just feels like in radio, most shows are either 1 or 2 years
and
or
done.
15 to 20 years.
Yeah. It's very strange, but we have had a good time with it. Days like today, I was driving in this morning with that kind of sick feeling in my stomach, because you watch a game like that last night, and I actually had an idea. It's not fun. And we try to be a funny show, but it's not fun. Games like last night aren't fun, but you have to take a fresh look at it, a different perspective, sleep on it. So I came up with a new game today that we're going to play. It's called the Blame Game. And everyone likes to play the Blame Game. And we'll play that. Paulie, when are we going to play that? Right after the wrap up at 6:35?
6:40, 6:45.
Okay, 6:40, 6:45. Then we're going to play the Blame Game. And it's a new game I've invented on my drive in because I think, I said this from the crapper last night as I filmed a video for Ben and Woods. I honestly was sitting on the toilet, pants around my ankles, recording a video for us. And I essentially said, I'm going to leave this game here in this toilet because that's where it belongs. And I was thinking about it driving in. Makes your stomach hurt losing games like that, especially when you're fired up. You played a pretty good game to that point. It just really does. And then you realize I got to go in and I got to try to explain this away. And so many people have so many different opinions. I value all of them. I really do. I'm as mad as hell. I'm mad. For me, this is the worst loss of the year by far. That's not recency bias. That's just, this is it. This is the worst loss of the year at the worst time. And some people need to figure it out in this organization. And there's a lot of blame to go around. A lot. And I'm mad at every single one. If you think of a name that I'm mad at them. Honestly, you could name somebody. I'm mad at them.
Just name someone.
Anyone on the team.
Anyone on the team.
Or connected to the team.
Are you mad at Steven Wilson?
Furious at Steven Wilson. Furious. Not mad at Steven Wilson. Guy's been a G. Be nice if we had guys that could go more than 2 days.
Well, there you go. You're kind of mad at Steven Wilson then.
Yeah, dude. Where are the dogs on this team? Where are the dogs on this team? Where are they? Who are they? Where are they? Fernando's kind of a dog. Even he got thrown out trying to steal third in the first inning. Where are the dogs?
Mad at Fernando.
Team? Yeah, mad at everyone.
Mad at Juan Soto?
Yeah, absolutely. Noodle arm. Yep. Yeah, I'm mad at everyone. Figure out how to win that game last night.
Is it okay to be mad at a team that hasn't lost a series all month?
Yes, absolutely.
And may not lose this one. Maybe they may even still win this series.
Very well may. Boy, I'm mad as hell today.
You can still be mad, though.
Fit to be tied.
Mad at a team that's won 8 of their last 13.
Oh, yeah, dude, come on. Haven't swept a team all season.
True.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. So I was really bummed. It's hard to sleep last night. I'm not mad at Michael Wacha. He's been pretty great, and that guy deserved a dub last night. But yeah, man, up and down the lineup, the front office, all of it. I'm pretty pissed. It's a tough one to swallow. And the thing that you know what makes you mad. This guy I used to work with used to say, anger is hurt, sadness, and fear, right? And I don't really like him much, nor do I really respect him much, but I always remembered that. And I'll tell you, when I think about it, you know why I'm angry? It's because I'm fearful. I'm fearful as hell. That's why. Because I looked at last night and I went, well, we're basically set up to only win 2 out of 3 games. A lot has to happen. A lot has to happen offensively.
Like, no wonder our longest winning streak is 3 games.
That's it, dude. That's it right there. We are not built to win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row. We're just not, and I don't know that it's going to happen. It could.
I'm a little fearful as well.
Fearful.
More than any of the other losses, last night's loss instilled some fear.
Opened your eyes.
I've been pretty resolute in my belief that, at some point this team is going to find its stride, and they really have in the month of June. But they dug a hole that they don't have a lot of room for error.
Yeah.
And other teams that you haven't expected, like the Diamondbacks and Giants, playing much better than we thought they would. That has an impact on the Padres' rest of the season. To make the playoffs, the Padres almost certainly have to catch, probably 2 of the 3 teams, at least 1 of the 3 teams ahead of them. I doubt all 4 wild cards or all 3 wild cards are coming from the NL West. So you probably have to catch at least 1 of the teams ahead of you. The Diamondbacks continue to play great. The Dodgers, while they've been struggling lately, are still the Dodgers. I don't think you can, think that they're going to go into a giant swoon and finish, with 84 wins. So you look at the Giants as the team. Yeah, okay. They weren't expected to do much. You've got to be able to catch them. If you have a bad series here and you fall 6 or 8 games behind the Giants at the midway point of the season, which, by the way, is just about 9 games away from the midpoint of the season, and you set yourself up in the second half to have to come back from 6 or 8 games down, that is a recipe for missing the playoffs and having a failure of a season. And losing the first game of the 4-game series when you've got Michael Walker on the mound pitching well, they've got a bullpen day and you got to them early. That's a game that you have to win. And when you don't, you have set yourself up for something potentially bad happening.
Well, the good news now is the 3 guys that were unavailable last night, the only 3 guys in the bullpen capable of getting outs at a big league level in high leverage situations, they're good to go tonight. So I fully expect to win tonight. I fully expect to win the next game because they should be okay depending on pitch count. And then the last game, there's a 4-game set. Yeah, we're splitting the series at best because you don't have
for Snell. Maybe he'll give us 7
of
strong
strikeout
innings.
13.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this team is set up to win 2 games max in a row, and I've got the numbers that bear it out. I've got the numbers.
I'll put Tim Hill in the foursome of reliable relievers in high leverage situations.
Yeah, you can do that.
I mean, maybe you just need to start splitting up. You got 2 and 2. It's not a 7th, 8th, 9th anymore. It's a one day is a Tim Hill, Nick Martinez. Another day is a Steven Wilson, Josh Hader day. A lefty righty combination in the bullpen. But that means you're going to need more out of your starters. The 6 good is not enough. Is not enough anymore. You're going to need 7 on a lot of days from your starters, or you're going to have to trust one of your lower leverage guys, at least in the 7th inning.
Yeah, man.
But to have to put yourself in a situation where you're trusting Garcia or Krismat or Carlton or Kerr in a 9th inning to try to close out a game, or an 8th inning with runners on, is a recipe for failure right now for the Padres.
This is the least sexy foreplay. This is like walking in from the gym, holding a salami sandwich, walking into your wife's room and going, "Are you ready? Are you ready for this?" And you have under boob sweat from the gym, and you're holding a salami and onion sandwich in the other hand and a bag of salt and vinegar chips. And you scratch your ass as you climb into bed. And she's like, not if somebody had a gun to my head. Do I want you near me right now? You disgusting, disgusting pig. That's what this foreplay is. This is how it's going to be all day.
Doggy style.
I'm livid. Last night sucked. It sucked.
All right. This is a good day to hear from some fans. However,
is it a good day to hear from some fans?
Well, I think it is, because we have our phone screener in this morning, and you're going to have to get by him. But if you If you can, we'll put you on the air. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. We'll play the blame game coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Get our Padres wrap up. There's plenty to go around, as you said. And it's not just Luis Garcia. It's not just Bob Melvin. As Wood said,
Goes deep.
I think you can spread it around for last night's game, to be sure. We will go through it. We're here with you, Padres fans. I mean, that's the one thing you can count on us to be here with you in the morning after the tough ones as well as the fun ones. This was one of the tough ones.
You're
we'll talk
too
about
soft on the team. Not today. Not today. Okay.
Daily Ditty,
You're all
duets
going
is the
down.
theme this week.
You're all going down today.
My selection coming up next, and then we are off and running. Jesse Agler will be with us at 8:35. Always a voice of reason, but even
Jesse,
even he will have a tinge of frustration in that voice today. I would think.
I texted with him when the world was ending last night, and I said, "This is fun." He said, "I disagree." That's all he said.
We had a pretty fun text thread in the game as well.
We did.
If you missed it, we'll share that with you. Coming up with Bennett Woods, let's get our first check of traffic, see how Kelly and the roadways are doing on this Tuesday morning with Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
How dare you, dude? This is the it's the Luis Garcia of songs.
You don't like this song? Man, I didn't have the time of my
No.
life last night. It kind of pops in here, gets a little peppier. Dirty Dancing. Bill Medley, Jennifer Warrens. I mean, this is the classic duet. They don't get more classic than this one. The rich, velvety voice of Bill Medley.
Hell is Bill Medley.
One of the Righteous Brothers.
Is he? All right. That's fine. Bill Medley.
Wasn't
That's
he one of the Righteous Brothers? I think he
made
was.
up name.
Bill Medley.
Yeah. Elisa says, read the room. Ben. Yeah, read the room.
It's not my fault that
This
the
should have
Daily
been-
Diddy duet selection came to me today.
This should have been
I picked this long before the game even started last
this
night.
should have been Bowie and Reznor doing Hurt is what it should have been. I can't find the actual version that's not on YouTube.
You know what? Everyone should take a deep breath this morning.
I can't.
Because
I don't wanna hear this.
if you were listening to us or following or me at least on social media, you saw this coming. We told you this was going to happen. We told you yesterday on the show that this was going to happen. We have the receipts actually, Paulie.
We rarely pull out the old receipt bit.
Rewind to yesterday's show.
Because for every one time that it works, it's going to bite you in the ass.
That's
20
fine, but this
times.
time it worked out perfectly and perfectly horribly.
Ben and Woods.
You know,
what,
you're
man?
probably going to be up against it a little bit bullpen wise in the game tonight.
And at some point, Luis Garcia needs to figure out the pitcher that he is, right? And be the guy he's capable of being. Tim Hill can come in and he makes your heart race, but he usually gets the job done. He's fresh, he's ready to go. Hasn't thrown in a few days. So, Nabil, I just don't know, man. And Ray Kerr he throws really hard and can spot up well, but he also can get a little bit out of sync and out of sorts. Drew Carlton's kind of a long guy.
There you have
We
it.
used
all
all
those
told you
guys.
yesterday
7:08 yesterday morning.
that the Padres, I think I said at some point, the offense is going to need to build more of a cushion. This was very predictable if you've been following this team and where the bullpen has been good and where it has not been good this season, because the overall numbers for the bullpen are actually rather strong for the Padres.
Collectively, fine.
Overall,
If
you know,
you-
like the ranking among all the teams, you'll find the Padres near the top in
Y-
bullpen
yes.
ERA
Now-
this year.
take out Wilson, Hader, and Martinez. And after that, you've got, and Hill's been pretty good this year.
Now, most teams you take out the top four, there's going to be a drop off for sure. There's not unlimited depth in Major League Baseball bullpens. But I thought what's interesting is a lot of the good innings that we've seen because we've seen good innings from Carlton and Cosgrove and Honeywell over the course of the season.
I never thought I would miss
But how
the
many?
great Tom Cosgrove as much as I do.
How
God,
many?
he would have got
but,
this out
but
of
how?
that
No.
easily.
How many times have those guys protected a 3-run deficit that the Padres could not
I don't know.
that could not come back from all the time?
But
how many times-
those guys?
Yeah, the starter goes 5, gives up 4 runs. Padres are down 4-1.
Yeah,
and then
you've seen
4
Carlton.
shutout innings the rest of the way. But the offense never got it going. We've seen that a ton.
All right.
They're great in low leverage situations.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Padres. And
Yeah.
I've got some low leverage numbers for you, protecting 3, 4, 5-run leads
Or 4-run deficits.
Yeah, no question. Keeping them in games.
Yeah.
There's no question.
They've been fantastic.
Mhm. I'll have numbers for you next, but we have a new game on Ben and Woods that we want to play. It's called the Blame Game, and we can take callers too. We can take callers.
Yep.
And we can have the callers spin the wheel.
Fine. Yeah,
All right,
we've got
let's do
callers
that.
on the line, so we'll get to
Stay
that.
with us.
Our Padres wrap up. Your calls. I see the lines are already well lit. There's a couple of open lines if you want to get in. 833-288-0973. But we'll talk Padres, play the blame game, talk to the callers. All coming up next year with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by SC Johnson Off. I do love to see the full phone lines because there is passion for Padres baseball.
So much, and the chat on YouTube is going ham. It's going crazy, and there's not too many takes in there I disagree with. This is not the day you're going to get me coming in telling people to calm down and you don't know what you're talking about. I'm pretty pissed too.
No, we're actually going to rile you up because if you call in, you're going to get to talk to us, but you're also going to get to play the blame game.
Blame game.
We are going to have you spin the wheel.
Yep.
And then we're going to
give you the name.
Give you the name, and you're going to assign how much blame you think that person deserves for last night's loss, for the Padres' losing record in general at this point in the season here on June 20th. So we're going to do that right after our Padres wrap-up, which comes immediately after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Kia of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Tannick.
Traffic is sponsored by 7-Eleven. Looking pretty good on our freeways at this time. Still going to find traffic alert in effect, though, in Oceanside along Coast Highway. It's closed in both directions between Cassidy and Kelly as they do some mop-up from an earlier structure fire. Small cherry Slurpee drinks are only $1 at 7-Eleven. It's a drink so full of bold, fruity flavor that the amazing price is just the cherry on top. Stop into 7-Eleven to get any size Slurpee drink for $1. Slurpee, anything close. I'm Kelly Danik with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
You can visit Pity City, but you can't live there.
Did you miss any of the Padres game yesterday?
Oh, it's been a great day today. Can't wait for more.
Oh, God, here we go. Jesus Christ.
Cancel the parade. That's why you play the games.
It's the Padres wrap-up with Ben and Woods.
Slam Diego? More like fail Diego.
Presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else. On 97.3 The Fan.
I just felt the way that the roster is built, they would have to outscore their opponents to win.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Soto hits it in the air, deep to left field. Conforto backing up, on the track, looking up, gonna go! A home run the opposite way for Juan Soto. Padres take a 1-0 lead here in the first inning. Eunice gets the PitchCom signal. Now he's ready. The 1-2 line into right center for a base hit. That'll get both runs home. Cronenworth has scored. Odor's on his way. It's a 2-run single for Ha-Seong Kim. Padres lead it 3-0 here in the fourth. First pitch on the way to Juan Soto. He hits it in the air to deep left field. Conforto's back again. At the wall again. Gonna go again. Second of the night for Juan Soto, and both have gone the other way. Number 9 hitter David Villar, the third baseman for the Giants, swings at the first pitch, launches one to left. Soto's back at the wall, gonna go. Solo home run, David Villar. And the second hit of the night for the Giants. That gets them on the board, and now 4-1 here in the fifth. 1-0, and Yastrzemski hits one in the air to deep right field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is a home run. Back row of the arcade, up over the landing there in right field. Not quite all the way to the water, but it is the 9th home run of the season for Mike Yastrzemski. Second solo shot of the night for the Giants, and now a 4-2 game in the sixth. Here's the 1-0 from Garcia. That bounces, kicks away from Sanchez. Both runners will advance. Sable scores. It's a 1-run game. And now the tying runner, Yastrzemski, is at second base.
There was nothing that Gary Sanchez could do about that.
There's the 1-2 pitch. Bailey lines into left field. Soto charges, makes the catch. Yastrzemski's going to try. Here's the throw to the plate. Sanchez tag. No, he's safe. And the game is tied. Nice throw from Juan Soto, but Yastrzemski able to get there and slide in as the Giants rally in the bottom of the ninth inning, and it's 4-4. Kerr is set at the belt. Here's the pitch. And that's it in the air to deep right field. That'll win the game one way or another. And it is going to go into McCovey Cove, a walk-off 3-run home run for Mike Yastrzemski, his second home run of the night. And the Giants come all the way back. They win it 7-4 in 10.
I mean, we've struggled in these type of games. You know, we've used the guys. We used three guys to close out the last couple of days, so we knew we'd be in for it. Walker pitched great. We had some innings to cover. Timmy did a great job. We just couldn't close it out.
No, you couldn't. And that is a problem. It's Ben and Woods here. And we're going to, instead of just jump into our takes on the game, we're going to start going through some of our tier ones here who are on the line, 833-288-0973. And here's how it's going to work. I'm going to call you onto the air. You'll say hi. We're going to spin the wheel, and you're going to get a name on the blame game. And you're going to tell us how much from, 0% to 100%, however you want to do it, how much blame you give that person on the Padres for what's going on, last night's loss and in general. And then we'll talk to you. And if you got something else to say, go ahead and say it. But we want everybody to play a little bit of the blame game this morning. Is that fair, Woods?
Absolutely.
All right, let's here we go. We get some music. All right, let's start with Christian. You are first up on the blame game with Ben and Woods this morning. How are you doing, Christian?
How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good.
It's a snappy. That's a snappy jingle.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that a lot.
All right, let's Christian, let's spin the wheel and we'll give you your name. Ooh. All right, first name, Paulie.
All right, first name, Christian. Fernando Tatis Jr.
That's an interesting one to start out with. All right, Christian, how much blame does Fernando get for last night's loss?
Oh, man. You know what? He went 1 for 4 last night.
Yeah.
Lots of strikeouts there towards the end.
Don't forget, he got caught stealing in the first inning ahead of a home run. That would have been a 2-run shot instead of a 1-run shot.
You can't. There's no promises on
I
that. There's no promises.
I don't have a problem with the steal. He's got aggressive break.
Okay, that's fair.
Faster than
he
hell.
also, he also was given a hit by a pitch by the home plate umpire.
And he didn't take it.
Didn't take it where he could have had 2 on in the 9th, where the Padres could have added on some insurance.
That's some adult.
Surely he got a hit, right?
That's some adult league stuff.
Yeah.
I want a hit. Oh, dude, take your base. He was waving you down to first.
Did he even not see the umpire?
I don't know. Maybe he did. How much blame?
I don't think he saw it. He knew he fouled it off. He just, he dropped the bat. He picked it back up, and he was ready to go.
But Wander Franco knew he struck out, headed back to the dugout. But when they said ball 4, he still went to first base.
All right. So how much on Fernando last night?
I'm going to give I'll give a 10%.
Low
amount.
It's low.
All right. Who do you blame for last night's loss?
You pointing your bony finger at?
Oh, obviously Melvin and Garcia are the easy ones to point at, right? But let's talk about the offense. I mean, we go into the bottom of the 10th. Bogarts is going to ground out, into a double play again with runners in scoring position. I mean, how many times, where's our April Bogarts at?
No kidding.
No
kidding.
Where's the guy he was slugging in April, and now he's just been, all through May after he got back from being sick, he's just been miserable.
The double plays.
Not miserable, but he's just been grounding out, just nonstop in the double plays.
The double
went
plays.
up there and battled last night.
Yeah, Manny battled, nice AB, but got you nothing out of it. Didn't move the runners, did nothing. As a tough pitcher, I get it, but yeah, Manny and Xander got to do better. They have to. Xander Bogaerts has not hit a home run, you guys, since May 23rd.
Oof.
And he started his Padres tenure with 12 RBI in April. He has 11 since. That can't happen. It just can't happen. For the money he's getting, for the years he's here, that can't happen. He's got to be better.
The lack of clutch we've talked about all year long, the ridiculous average with runners in scoring position. Christian, thanks for the call. I got No Holds Barred 619 who tweeted this to me last night. Padres 0-6 in extra innings, as we know. They've been bad with runners in scoring position all year. In extra innings, it's horrific. They've scored 1 run in 7 total innings.
Wow.
They are 1 for 21 overall at the plate in extra innings and 0 for 18 with runners in scoring position in extra innings this season.
No wonder they're 0-6.
You can't win a game if you can't get a single hit with a runner in scoring position in extra innings. It's almost impossible to do that, and they are now 0-6 in extra inning games. Games that, well, obviously they played fairly evenly over the first 9 innings. I mean, yesterday's game, they outplayed the Giants for the first 8.5 innings. Quite soundly, I thought, for the most part. They ended up losing that game. All right, let's continue the blame game. Let's go to Charlie. You are next up with Ben and Woods. Hello, Charlie. Good morning.
Hey, thank you for sharing my pain, guys. Is Bob Melvin on that wheel?
Yeah, he is.
on
Let's
that
see
wheel.
what you get, though. You can,
okay, let's spin it.
spin
Let's
it.
see
Spin it. Let's
if I
spin
hit
it.
him.
All right, it's your lucky day, Christian or Charlie.
Charlie, look at
we'll
that.
go with Bob Melvin.
Bob Melvin.
How much
All right.
blame does Bob Melvin?
I'm leaving Las Vegas, and now I hit another jackpot. Listen, the last the last inning, or last when we lost the game, you got second and third, and there's one out. Why does he pitch to Yastrzemski, who hit a home run earlier in the game? He hit a home run a couple days ago to tie a game for the Giants. I mean, where's the scouting report? What is Bob Melvin doing for this team to help us, to help everybody on this Padres team?
Yeah, I put a lot of blame on Bob for last night, man. I think, we'll get into it. Timmy Hill was absolutely cruising last night, and you know Garcia's terrible. You know it. In fact, our text thread, I said it's over when he comes in. Ben said, "Yeah."
You said he's warming up, and we were all,
and everyone's like, "Oh no,
no!"
That is not the time, as Bob quoted after the game, to quote, "get him going." That's not the time. I didn't mind the last time when he was coming off the IL to get him going. He actually made a pitch. He just didn't cover first base. Bob Melvin, man, you overthought it last night. You overthought it. Tim Hill is cruising. Now, Tim Hill has not gone 3 innings ever in his Padres tenure. In fact, Ben had a stat blew my mind earlier. Not one reliever has gone
3 days. I think there's one reliever in baseball who's gone 3 days in a row this year, but managers don't.
They just don't do it.
Relief pitchers 3 days in a row anymore.
So, and here's the thing. I mean, I had people like, why wouldn't he use Josh Hader? And I go, dude, he didn't forget he's got Josh Hader. He knows that Josh Hader's on the roster. Josh Hader doesn't pitch in 3 consecutive days. He just doesn't. There's an article in the Athletic talking about it.
No one does.
Nobody does.
No one does.
And that's
pitch
the
in
thing.
3 straight days.
That being said,
and you can see, I mean, it's easy to go, well, we're not going to use you today, but then when push comes to shove, it's an emergency, we need you. But if that's your mindset going into a game, then you're not really giving anyone a day off.
Right.
If you're up because, hey, well, we're not going to pitch you unless we're up by 1 in the 9th. Well, that's when Josh Hader goes in anyway. So then it's not a day off for Josh Hader.
No.
You either commit to the day off or you don't. And Bob Melvin committed to the day off. However, I do agree.
Josh Hader doesn't do that. He just doesn't do that.
So does Josh Hader get blamed for not going 3 days in a row?
I agree with, was it Charlie? 100% though, on walking Mike Yastrzemski in the bottom of the 10th inning. Now, baseball, the book says you don't have a lefty walk a righty to get to another lefty, which Luis Matos, the rookie, was up. The righty was up next to face Ray Kerr. However, he's a rookie in his 5th game.
Yeah.
He's had a good start, but he was 0 for 4 last night. Yastrzemski was 3 for 5 with 3 runs scored, 4 runs batted in, 2 home runs, and you create the force play at any base. I think you say, to heck with the righty-lefty in that situation.
Go for experience.
And
but Ray Kerr is also very young as well.
You're putting some pressure on a guy. Hey, 1-hit batsman, a walk. You're forcing in the
Spike
right
one.
I get the argument why you don't do it as well. But in that situation, I don't let Mike Yastrzemski beat me there.
Even Mud on the broadcast, if you guys were watching this, he says, a lot of people out there in San Diego are wondering, why not walk Mike Yastrzemski here? And I'll tell you why you don't walk Mike Yastrzemski. 3 seconds later, whack into the McCovey's Cove, it goes. So even a seasoned knower of ball, Mudcat Grant, got that one wrong as well. We all did, man. But I just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think people are like, oh, Bob Melvin has a owner for the righty-lefty thing. It's not just Bob Melvin. Every freaking manager wants lefty or righty. That's not exclusive. My thing for Bob Melvin is, Timmy Hill is absolutely cruising last night. Timmy Hill is a dog. Timmy Hill's going to gut that way. I know you didn't like the matchup with Slater there. If Slater hits a home run, great. You're down 1. You got a 2-run lead. It's not the time to get Luis Garcia going.
If Timmy Hill loses it in his 3rd inning,
who are we saying he should have put
malpractice? You left a guy in who's never pitched 3 innings before to lose the game.
It's not.
That's
given the context of us.
I don't know that there's any situation that Bob Melvin could avoid the blame if the Padres lose.
For us, just the 3 of us right here.
We all knew it.
Given the context of our conversation on text that saying, if Garcia comes in, this game's over. You cannot go to Garcia.
I didn't like Garcia.
I
did not like Garcia in that
stuck
situation.
with Tim Hill and we still lost, are we coming in today and ripping Bob Melvin?
Because people would have, and this is what I would have.
That's why
I would have said this.
If you lose the game, you can't avoid blame in this situation.
But I would have said this to you guys. If Ben came in and said this is malpractice to leave Tim Hill in, I would have said, here's your options: Drew Carlton, gas can Brent Honeywell, who, by the way, in high leverage this year is OPS. They're OPSing over 1,000 on him in a high leverage situation. Brent Honeywell's a gas can. I would have said Luis Garcia. Hell no. I would have said Bob did the right thing. Tim Hill was cruising. You leave him in. You go with one of your veteran guys, a guy that's done it before, at least gotten you big outs, and really did not throw any high stress pitches at all. That's what I would have said. I would have defended Bob Melvin for leaving Tim Hill in to the death because of look at the options down there. Gas can, gas can, gas can, gas can.
But he went with the one move that you can't defend.
You can't do. There's no defense. It's not the time, Bob, to get Luis Garcia going in that.
And that was his
situation.
quote after the game. We need to get Garcia going.
We
That's
don't.
fine, you do, but not in the ninth inning of a game in which they got to win to open a series against a division rival who's ahead of you in the standings.
He needs to get going on a different career path because he's not a big league pitcher this year. And you saw it. You saw it in Melvin's face. After the hit, the walk, Melvin turned sharply, and he's like, this is over. This is over.
When Gary Sanchez came out to the mound and started kind of patting him on the back.
Manny was like, come on, let's go.
Garcia looked lost.
Shook.
I mean, maybe that's just
He looked like
optics,
me in fantasy
but
camp, dude.
he looked lost out there. Let's get one more spin of the wheel in here. Let's go to Jose. You are next up on the blame game at Ben & Woods. Hello, Jose.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Fantastic.
Good. All right, hang on. We'll spin the wheel here and we'll give you a name.
Let's go, Ruben Niebla.
Ooh, the pitching coach. You didn't think about that one.
I didn't think about that
Jose,
one
do you put some blame on the pitching coach last night?
No, I that's unfair on him. He's just he's not the guy making the decisions on who goes out there.
Fair enough. All right, who do you want to blame? What do you want to talk about?
I definitely want to blame Melvin on this one. I think the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right?
Yeah.
And every time Luis Garcia has been put in there in high leverage situations, it hasn't worked out, you know?
I saw someone point out, and I forget who it was. Maybe it was multiple people last night. Josh Hader was lost last August when they traded for him. Was in just a world of hurt and
against those very Giants.
And Bob Melvin, he gave up a win, and Bob Melvin stuck with him. Like 2-3 days later, came back. He got a save. He turned it around. He rewarded Bob Melvin's faith and ended up being an absolute lights out pitcher for the Padres down the stretch and in the postseason.
Does Garcia have the track record that Hader had?
No. He has a pretty good track record though.
Last year,
I mean, it wasn't 1 year. He was good with the Cardinals. He's been good with the Padres. He's been a very solid reliever for multiple seasons with really good stuff. He deserves some leeway. I just don't know that it comes in that situation in that game in the ninth inning.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much outlined how this was going to go yesterday. We really did. And I think even off the air, we were talking about, all right, well, who closes? And I said, probably Garcia, unfortunately. But, man, again, there's a lot of blame to go around. We're not even close to being done yet. There's one name that hasn't been brought up yet. And if the buck stops here, there's a buck, right? A buck is 4 quarters. I'm giving 50 cents to Bob Melvin, and I'm giving 50 cents to one other person.
Okay.
And we can talk about that next.
All right, we'll come back. We'll continue with the blame game. If you want to relight the phone lines, hold on if you're still there. 833-288-0973. We may push Take on Woods back a little bit if this continues to go well. We just want to keep hearing from the tier ones and the Padres fans out there. So give us a call, 833-288-0973. Of course, voice of the Padres, Jesse Agler, will be with us at 8:35 on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. More of the blame game. Oh, there's still more blame to go around. Worry ye not. Ben & Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Couple phone lines open, 833-288-0973. We're continuing the blame game here.
Some good calls this morning. Really,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
honestly, like I'm not going to poop on anybody's theories here. I'm hot mad at all of them, to be honest with you right now. It's those kind of games it's inexcusable to lose that game. Inexcusable.
Well, so was last Sunday's against the Rockies.
100%.
So,
listen, with that game too, I'll give you, man, the freaking rain and them trying to wedge that game in and getting Martinez hot. And, I understand why you don't bring Nick Martinez back in there. That's just one of those weird baseball things. That was not a clean game. There was delays. I'll give you that one. Let's flush that one. Last night is inexcusable. You have to win that baseball game.
Padres have had a few, though, inexcusable losses.
That's the
this
worst
season.
one, though.
I mean, that was the most painful one with a lead. But you telling me that losing 2 or 3 to the Royals, including 2 one-run losses and the number of chances they blew, there's at least 1 or 2 in that series.
This one hurt the most because it's against the freaking Giants,
Twins
who
in
had won
extra
7
innings
in
when
a
they lost
row.
4-3. They had all kinds of chances in that game. Lost to the Yankees there. That one in extra innings. I mean, I'm going through this. The Padres are on pace for about 10 inexcusable losses this year. Think about that. Let's say they win 85 games. Difference between 85 and 95 is substantial when you throw it away, 5 to 10 inexcusable losses over the course of the season.
Out of the playoffs and possibly winning the division.
Exactly. I mean, you can't keep throwing away these games that are yours to take. And it's not just the bullpen either. It is absolutely the offense. We had a text thread last night during the game. Well, I was tweeting because I'm still on Twitter, but Woods is no longer on Twitter, so he doesn't see my tweets. And, I'd send out a tweet. So I send out a tweet that says, with a depleted bullpen after 2 straight close wins, this one could get dicey for the Padres. Offense needs to add on. Then Woods text like 5 seconds later. Here's where it gets dicey. Pen is cooked.
I swear to God,
then
I didn't see your tweets.
after the bottom of the 7th, I go, an 8-pitch inning for Tim Hill should tempt Bob Melvin to bring him back for the 8th. Then Woods text 3 seconds later, got to run him out there again. Yeah, just stay on Twitter with us, Woods, and just live and die with us on social media.
I'm living and I'm dying, but I do mine on the toilet. That's where I did the post-game video last night. From the toilet with my pants around my ankles, by the way. That wasn't me just sitting on top of the toilet. I was on the toilet.
You mean you don't miss tweets like, can't wait to hear how soft you guys are on Bob Melvin?
Yeah, I've not been soft on Bob Melvin today. I think a lot of this
You could start a new social media site called Toilet.
It would be about as good as Twitter is.
Most of social media is often a cesspool anyway.
It is. And definitely not being soft on Bob Melvin today. I've said it. I'm going to say it again. The 9th inning of a 2-run game is not where you, quote, get Luis Garcia going. It's just not. And by the way, if Luis Garcia can't get outs at the big league level, and he's proven that he can't, he shouldn't be on this roster.
Let's spin the blame game wheel one more time. We've rigged the blame game wheel because I know there's a name that you want to come up. But Bill, welcome to Ben and Woods. You're going to get to play the blame game here. How you doing this morning?
Okay, boss.
Okay, we're rigging the wheel, but Paul, spin it anyway because I want to make sure this name comes up.
Oh, would you look at that? It is Padres general manager, president of baseball operations, AJ Preller.
Ah, Bill. So do you blame? How much blame does AJ Preller get for the Padres' loss?
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna talk about Bob Melvin, but you already said everything I was gonna say. Yeah, the GM. Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. He trades all the good young players away, and he pay all this money for talent, and we're still losing.
It's a good call.
You know?
I said that a dollar, right? The buck stops here is the bit. Every manager worth his salt is going to wear that loss last night and say, it's on me. I blew it. It's fine. I think Bob Melvin did that. That being said, 50% of that, 50 cents, goes to AJ Preller, in my opinion.
I don't know. I heard Bob Melvin's postgamer, and I thought there was a veiled shot at AJ in there. Maybe not intentionally.
Not surprised.
But when he said, "Hey, we got a couple of reliable righties. We need another reliable righty down there." That's talking to Luis Garcia about being better. That he's got to step up and give them that option. But it's also, aren't you not also talking to the person who's putting your team together going, you have tied my hands because I don't have anyone I can trust beyond Steven Wilson and Nick Martinez, right-handed out of the pen. I don't have anyone else that I feel good about that's a right-hander down there. That was, I thought, not necessarily like a veiled shot, maybe even an unintentional one, but he said it. And to me, that was like, hey, what do you want me to do? I got to throw someone out there.
A chef can only cook with what's in his kitchen. Yeah. You want to make the best dish in the world, you better have the right ingredients. Okay. And we've got some really good ingredients that we can make dinner 2 nights in a row for. And that's it. That's it. We cannot cook on Wednesday, Thursday. We can cook Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, you're going to get a crap meal. You're getting chipped beef on toast because that's what we got. I got toast and I got chipped beef, whatever that is. Then on Thursday, I'm probably good to make a decent dinner again. Potentially Friday, depending on how Thursday's meal went and how many ingredients I used. Saturday, you're screwed. You can't have a bullpen that's only good every other day, every 2 days. They're going to fry Wilson. They're going to fry him. They're going to fry Martinez. I know he was going to be a starter this year. Thank God they moved him out of that role because where would we be without him? Here's the problem, man. 50% of that's got to go on A.J. Preller. It just has to.
Now, no team brings in their setup man and closer 2 straight days. And then on the third day, they got someone who's equally as good who comes in, different setup, different closer.
I disagree.
There's always a drop-off from your best guys to your next set of guys.
There's a drop-off, Ben, but they're
you minimizing the drop-off.
You got to be able to do a job.
Bro, it's a 2-run lead. You need 3 outs. And again, the matchup with Slater, I don't care about. Slater doesn't hurt you. If he hits a home run, you're still in the lead. You got 3 outs to go. I don't know why we're panicking, Bob Melvin, about it's Austin Slater, everybody. Give me a break. Tim Hill wants the ball. Let him take the ball. I can defend that move because what he's left with in that bullpen that A.J. Preller has built, Ben, is a bunch of gas cans, and that's it. Luis Garcia, gas can. Brent Honeywell, gas can. Nabil Krismat, not an effective big league pitcher. Ray Kerr, wet behind the ears, as green as can be. Drew Carlton is not a high leverage guy. He's just not. He'd faced 1 batter in a high leverage situation this season. 1. There's nothing in the cupboard. There's nothing in the cupboard. The only guy I'm going with in that situation is Tim effing Hill. That's it. Who has come out and threw 19 pitches and gotten 6 outs? I think that's right. I want to say 19.
That's correct. So 19 pitches, 6 outs.
6 outs. Timmy Hill can give you another 15 pitches. Trust me. He's thrown 30 pitches before. And trust me, he did not want to come out of that game. I want to give it to a guy that wants it, not a guy that's going to panic. And it's not the time to get him going. That being said, Bob can only cook with the ingredients in his cupboard. And the cupboard is bare. Here's the other thing. Look around baseball right now. What are you seeing a lot of? So-and-so calls up their top pitching prospect. So-and-so calls up their top pitching prospect. Every team's in need of bullpen help, back-end bullpen help. Every team. Some guys need frontline starters. Dodgers have 4 guys they've called up that are frontline starters. Some of them have been great. Some of them have been mediocre. They'll probably find new roles for them. You can't, like your son, Jack, was in this morning. He said, well, if we had Pomeranz and Suarez, yeah, but Pomeranz, we should never depend on. Never.
You haven't had him for years.
You haven't had it for years.
Now,
Suarez is a bummer.
When you sign a guy to an extension, big money, and you expect him to be your setup man.
But he hadn't been here. So what do you have to do?
It is tough.
Wait with patience? No. You got to find somebody. You have to develop somebody. So think about it today. I'm in here going, hey, Luis Garcia is not a fit on this team. He's not an effective big league pitcher. He's got to be DFA'd. Who replaces him? Reese Kinnear again? There's no one knocking at the door. That's why it falls on A.J. Preller.
Do you
Our
take
cupboard
a guy,
is bare.
Do you take a guy that's maybe starting games in El Paso and say, guess what, man? We need you to learn how to get hot for 2 innings.
Maybe. But who is it?
Convert somebody. I don't know.
Groom's got a 9 ERA. I mean, like there's
right. That's the problem. We don't have the guy.
There's nothing in, there's no reserves. And it doesn't make you a bad team to have to call on reserves. Every team does it. But Ray Kerr in that situation, Luis Garcia, who's now, it looks, usually I say Garcia, that looks like it's between the ears. It doesn't. His stuff didn't look good. Even when he threw strikes, it didn't look good. It didn't look hard. It didn't look with movement. It's just not effective. So I put a lot of the blame on A.J. Preller too, because this is These are the ingredients he's got to cook with. Hey, really nice for 2 days. We can get through 2 games, no problem. Steven Wilson's been an absolute dude. Josh Hader is a dude for 2 days in a row. And Nick Martinez has been a really nice Swiss Army knife. But after that, Ben, it's bare.
Well, yeah, look at what
you want to hear these numbers?
Look at the Giants bullpen from yesterday. And I don't know all these guys. They're not perfect. I mean, they gave up those runs early on a bullpen day, but they brought in the Padres closer from last season in the 2nd inning.
Yep.
So a guy who's pitched in high leverage situations, has an ERA under 3 this year. And I thought the whole key to the game, the Wynn who came in, Keaton Wynn, gave up a home run on his first pitch.
5 innings?
Gave up a home run on his first pitch that he threw to Juan Soto. And at that point, it looked like the game was probably over. Oh, Padres are going to crush this guy, add on. He ended up pitching 5 innings out of their bullpen, did not allow another run. That was absolutely the essential thing the Giants needed to win that game. I don't know who Keaton Wynn is. He's their Tim Hill, whatever. He's their 4th, 5th guy out of the bullpen. Gave him length, gave him effective innings, and gave him a chance to win, something the Padres could not come up with enough of in last night's game. That's why the Giants won. Yeah, Mike Yastrzemski was the one who hit the big home run at the end and put the nail in the coffin, but the game was won in the bullpens last night. The Giants came through with a little length, and when they needed it, and the Padres could not do it at the end.
People are pointing the finger at Josh Hader. I understand. Listen, closers rarely, if ever, go 3 days in a row. This day and age, it's not a productive thing. That's why you have a bullpen. And again, you have a bullpen to keep closers from having to do that, or needing to do that, or even being tempted to do that. The Padres don't have anybody clearly that can get 3 outs with a 2-run lead in the 9th inning. And that's a problem. And that doesn't fall on Bob Melvin. That falls on AJ Preller. And again, there's nobody coming up. That's the other thing that's just terrifying. When I talked about fear earlier, Ben, man, if we played a 2-game series with everybody fresh, I like our chances. You're not going to play a lot of 2-game series in the playoffs unless you win the first 2 games.
You have days off in the playoffs.
Sure,
though. That
I understand.
changes the
Yeah,
whole
changes.
equation. You get 2 days and then a travel day, and then you got 2 days and then a travel day.
If you're grinding these guys like this for 162, how fresh are they going to be come October?
Well, you're not grinding them. That's the thing.
You're grinding them for for the Padres. The formula to win is get ahead through 6 innings. Then you go Wilson. Then you go Martinez. Then you go Hader.
That's everyone's formula. The problem is they're not grinding the guys to win now. You're giving them the day off. You're giving them the 3rd day off. You're watching those pitch counts so closely. You're costing yourself regular season games so they'll be fresh for a playoff run that you're not going to make at this point.
We were talking off the air. I said, so Hader just can't go 3 days in a row. Apparently. So you're telling me in a wild card weekend series, Friday,
Different.
Saturday, Sunday.
Playoffs
You said it's different. Okay, I agree.
June is not October. It's
Yeah,
not.
but
And
October
I
doesn't
know-
matter if we keep losing these games in June.
Exactly. And that's the vicious circle
So
of
he's
baseball.
got to pick a balance of
That's the vicious
giving them
circle.
rest and treating it like a playoff run.
You can manage every game like it's game 7. You can. He absolutely could have called down and said, I don't care. Get him up. Get Hader up. I need 3 outs. He can give it to me. And then you hope and pray you can get to DeSclafani today and you won't need Josh Hader. It sucks. It sucks. But you can't burn guys. You can't burn through your closers in June, even though I wanted you to, even though, you could have gotten the win. The best thing for me last night easily is leave Timmy Hill in, who was cruising. And if Timmy Hill's down for a day or 2, fine. We'll manage. But burning Steven Wilson last night for the 3rd day in a row, he had thrown 31 pitches, or no, Wilson had thrown 42 pitches. You do have to manage it a little bit.
If I was Bob Melvin, and I don't have all the information that he does, I would have considered talking to those 3 guys, Wilson, Martinez,
I'm
and
sure
Hader,
he did.
and saying, hey,
You think he didn't?
Well, I'm sure he did. But, did they all say none of us can go? Did they all walk up and go, I got nothing for you today? Or did one of them say
before the game or in the
before
moment?
the game? Yeah. I could give you 1 inning if you really needed it. In that situation, in that game, and I'm not the kind of guy who plays for wins in May and June necessarily. I thought that was a big win last night. We talked about it before the game. How that I thought was the critical game of this series. Going forward, whatever happens the rest of the way, I thought that was the one the Padres had to get. If it's Josh Hader, and you say, this is the one day we're going to use you 3 days in a row, and guess what? I'm going to put you down on Tuesday and Wednesday. You're getting 2 days after this, no matter what. I still think you may need to try to win that game last night. with your best.
I
Your
wonder
best
what the
stuff.
chain of command looks like. I mean, Josh Hader's in the pen, isn't he? Or is he in the dugout? He's completely
No, I
down.
think he's in the pen.
If he's in the
out
pen, I
there.
mean, can he tell Ben Fritz in the bullpen, give me the ball. I'm warming up.
Yeah.
Call the phone. Let him know I'm ready. We need this game. I'm the guy to get it done.
I mean, Tapia's maybe your only other guy you could call up. I would expect a move today. I would expect some sort of move.
I don't think you should let the situation of the game change your mind. If you've decided that he's off, you're not a good manager. If one thing goes wrong in the game and you throw the game plan out the window, that's not good managing.
Well, lots of things went wrong. It wasn't one thing.
No, but I mean, but a loss. The worst thing that can happen in a game is losing the game, and the Padres were on the verge of losing it. That's why you bring your closer in to begin with. I'm saying is before the game, if you had maybe treated that game a little more, not like a playoff game, but maybe like more of a let's definitely get this one and prepared for that and go. I can't definitely promise you a day off today. We may use you today, Josh. Be ready. Be ready in the ninth inning. It sounds like Bob Melvin told all three of those guys, you know what? I want you to take it off. Don't even put yourself in the mental situation that you're going to go into the game. If you tell a reliever, I'm not using you before the game, they change their preparation, as they should.
Right.
They're going to do a whole different thing. You can't bring them in at that point unless it's an absolute 100% emergency. Then you're risking injury. You're risking all sorts of things. I think at least one of those guys needed to be told, hey, I need you mentally ready to go. I'm hoping not to use you, but we may have to use you because we need this game against the Giants. I don't know what was said beforehand. Sounds like Bob told all three. There's no chance we're using you. Don't do your normal warm-ups. Treat this as an off day. You're not getting into the game. And once you do that, you can't bring those guys in.
That's all fine and dandy. And let's say that's the case. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other guys in your bullpen that you cannot trust. That is the problem. 5 guys on a big league roster that cannot get outs. That's a problem. And that's on AJ Preller. Nabil Grismat. No. Brent Honeywell. Absolute gas can. The higher the leverage, the worse he is. The lower the leverage, he's fine. He's fine. Effective. I've got numbers to back all of this
All
up.
right, let's get to those numbers. Well, obviously, we're bumping. Let's just bump everything to the 8 o'clock hour. Take on Woods. Don't do this. 8:15, 8:20. We still have full phone lines. Let's keep it rolling here with more Padres talk. This is obviously a loss that has stuck in the craw of Padres fans around San Diego. 833-288-0973. More Ben and Woods coming up after a check of traffic here on 97.3 Van. Some interesting numbers here. Usually we're at don't do this, but we're continuing to roll because our phone lines are lit up with Padres fans who are lit up with anger after last night's 7-4 10-inning loss to the San Francisco Giants. Padres now 0-6 in extra inning games this season. Looking at some numbers, Kevin Acee had them in his newsletter this morning. Why didn't the Padres have any of those three guys available for the game last night? Steven Wilson, Nick Martinez, or Josh Hader. He writes kind of, there's a formula of how much they've pitched. Martinez had pitched 3 times in 4 days, 65 innings, four
pitches,
65 pitches, 4 innings in the previous 4 days. Wilson 4 times in 6 days, 61 pitches. Hader 3 times in 6 days, and he hasn't pitched 3 consecutive days since well before he's been with the Padres.
Yeah,
so
and he lost that game.
Has not done that much at all either. So the decision was made before the game that none of those guys was coming in.
We made it on Ben and Woods yesterday. We made it. We said, hey, tonight's going to be dicey, and you're going to have to. So
and the Padres knew it too.
They knew it too.
They were hoping they'd be up by more than 1 or 2 runs in the 9th inning.
And make no mistake, the offense is not getting off the hook here at all today on Ben and Woods. Nobody's off the hook. I mean, Bomel blew it. AJ Preller blew it. They all blew it last night. To watch that 9th inning, too, it wasn't, you know what, Ben? If Garcia comes in and gives up a knock and then gives up a bomb, fine. Fine. You're going to get beaten on that. The wheels came off. Watching a team that looked so unprepared for the 9th inning, a big moment, you watched them wilt. Just wilt. Spiked curveballs, pass balls.
That's not them. It's him. I mean, no one else out there did anything.
Well, Carlton too.
Well,
everyone, every pitcher that came in after Tim Hill.
The pitchers.
Yes, the pitchers.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's what you got down there. I'm looking at these numbers on leverage. So again, plenty of blame goes on Bob Melvin. Plenty. I'm putting a lot of it on there because you overmanaged. You thought I can get Garcia through this. There's no effing way Garcia should have been in that game. None. That's on Bob. Bob made that call. Timmy Hill finishes that game for you. And if he doesn't, he dies trying. He dies trying. And I can defend you leaving Tim Hill in. And here's how I can defend you leaving Tim Hill in. Because Brent Honeywell, Ben, in high leverage situations, opponents are hitting 270 with an OPS of over 1,000, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts, 33 plate appearances. Medium leverage situations, they're hitting 235 with a 543 OPS, 2 walks, 10 Ks. That's where he really fits. Low leverage, 194 with a 655 OPS. Still walks too many guys in low leverage situations, but actually gets the job done. He's a long reliever. He's a mop-up guy. That's what he is. Luis Garcia, low leverage situations, 278 with a 714. High leverage situations, 333 with an 832 OPS. Terrible. Timmy Hill, in high leverage, actually has given up the highest batting average. Oh, no, 286 with a 681. The OPS is low there. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Not going to put guys on base. You know what Josh Hader does in high leverage. You know what Nick Martinez does. You know what Wilson does. Wilson is a dude, straight up dude on this team. Nabil Crismatt, you're not going to Nabil Crismatt there. You're just not. Has not proven to be an effective big leaguer this year at all. Ray Kerr barely has stats in the big league. So that's what you're left to work with. That's why you go with Tim Hill. That's why you just leave him out there. I can defend it.
It's actually a correlation to what the Padres offense has done all season. Where are the highest leverage situations for an offense? Runners in scoring position. Yep. Where have the Padres been the worst offensively? Runners in scoring position. Padres have been an unclutched team both on the mound and at the plate.
Unless it's
season.
Wilson, Martinez, and Hader. If you have those guys on the mound, you feel like you're going to win that game. Unless it's them guys, we got nothing. It is bare and no reserves coming.
Ken is on the line. It looks like he's going to agree with you here, Woodsy. Ken, welcome to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, guys. First time caller, long time listener.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, no, you're right. I mean, they should have never pulled Hill. That's on Bob. I mean, Hill hit a low pitch down.
Yeah.
He went 6 up, 6 down. I mean, he could have finished the game. He's ready to finish the game.
He wants it.
We're getting all, he wants it. Exactly. He's out to short it. I mean, he had more pitches. The arm was still fresh. Perfect guy to stay in there. Keep the bullpen, let it rest as long as you want because you're using them up and that. But it just that's the bad calls that the season's killed it.
Yeah, Bob Melvin said after the game, he said, just quote, 3 innings is tough. While it was only 19 pitches,
It is tough.
He had never done the get up and warm up, then go out and pitch an inning, then come out to the dugout, go back out, sit, warm up again, pitch another inning, and then go back and sit, and then warm up a third time and pitch again. Tim Hill had never done that.
First
in his
time
career.
for everything. There's a first time for everything. And you listen, I said the offense is not going to get off the hook here. They're not. You have to put that game away. You had ample opportunity to do it. Man, Kevin Acee in his piece put some numbers out there called Then and Now. Guys, it's gonna make your toes curl.
Let's tease that because I saw that as well.
It will make your toes curl.
I saw that. We'll continue. We'll have the shocking numbers.
They are shocking. Shocking. They mean, turn your hair gray.
And we'll continue with the phone calls. 833-288-0973. Quick break, and then back with more Ben and Woods. Don't go anywhere on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan brought to you by Hamul Casino. Looking for a genuinely awesome job? Hamul Casino is looking for you. If you're a fun, positive person over 18, and you're probably not a Padres fan at the moment, check out the job fair Thursday, June 22nd, 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. They offer competitive pay, generous benefits, and plenty of team member perks. Learn more at HamulCareers.com.
I'm fun. I'm positive. Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Got a interesting text that gave me pause for a moment from my boy Matty Waitman. Matty says, so if you know Tim Hill is the best you got in the bullpen, why not go to Garcia or Kerr in the 7th, save Hill for the 8th and 9th? I said, it's a good point. And then I started to think about it. I said, well, now I know the answer. Probably because you don't trust your offense to get back the run or runs they inevitably would give up. And then I said, wait till you hear these numbers. He said, true, the offense is unreliable. If I'm Bob Melvin and I see these numbers and I know what my offense has not done this year, it ain't battling back from deficits. That's for sure.
My jaw almost hit the table.
It's unbelievable.
It shouldn't, because we know how bad the Padres have been with runners in scoring position. But there's only so many times you can say, hey, they're hitting 198 with runners in scoring position. It's historically bad. It's the worst in the league by far. No other team has been below 214 in the last half century or whatever it is. So we know it's really, really bad.
Right.
This still blew my mind when I saw it this morning.
So again, if you're Bob Melvin and you're still clinging to that 2-run lead after walk is done. And when did Timmy Hill come in? The 7th? Yeah, he came pitch the 7th and the 8th. So let's say you go to Garcia there and he does what he does. And we all knew he was going to do, and he serves it up.
I still would have done it. I still would have rather done it there, just because maybe he doesn't feel quite the tension of the ninth inning. You know, that tension can cause you to start snapping pitches in the dirt.
And closing's not for everyone.
You feel a little bit more comfortable in the 7th inning. You know, if you blow it, hey, we still have a chance to come back. You do it in the bottom of the 9th, you've lost the game for your team.
But if you're Bob Melvin and you see if he serves it up, or if Ray Kerr, young guy, barely any experience, if he serves it up, I doubt a comeback is imminent. And here's why. Kevin A.C. in his newsletter put this little graphic in, you guys. Listen to this. It's going to make your hair fall out. Then and now, how Padres batters have fared with runners in scoring position this season compared to previously in their career. So we're just asking you guys to do what you've done. A little bit better is fine. A little bit worse is okay.
Yeah.
This is staggering. Xander Bogaerts, his career with runners in scoring position has hit 284. You know what he's hitting this year for the San Diego Padres? 213. That's a 69-point difference. Matt Carpenter, 282. Runners in scoring position. Pretty damn good. Batting 178. It's a 104-point difference. Jake Cronenworth, 275, career hitter. Runners in scoring position. Batting 167. 108-point difference. Nelly Cruz, 288 in his career. 265 with the Padres. Not actually.
That counts as good.
He's
good. Only 23 points below his career average with runners in scoring position. He's like almost the highlight of the lineup.
There's one guy that's better than him.
Just one. We'll get to him.
Trent Grisham's a 238 hitter.
Not good.
In his career. He's batting 145. It's a 93-point difference. Hassan Kim, 247 in his career, batting 208. 39-point difference. Manny Machado, 315 lifetime hitter with runners in scoring position.
As clutch as it comes.
217. 98-point difference. Austin Nola was a 299 hitter with runners in scoring position in his career.
Really good.
This was entering this season?
Entering this season. 0-5-4. A 245-point difference. Rugi Odor, 240 career. 292 for the San Diego Padres. Your MVP.
Thank you, Rugi Odor.
God, I was unfamiliar with your game, Rugi. I apologize. I really, really do. I said like a month ago, or a month and a half, he should not be getting at bats on this championship caliber team. Give him all the at bats. Juan Soto in his career, 284. Damn good. 231. 53-point difference. Fernando Tatis Jr. My God, this man in his career with runners in scoring position, 368. A respectable 273. Still 95 points off of where he can be.
So the regulars, you look up and down, the regulars are averaging around 90 to 100 points below their career averages with runners in scoring position. Now, a lot of guys are struggling at the plate and down just in normal situations a little bit, but nothing like this. There's nothing to explain these numbers.
Oh my God.
You hit better with runners in scoring position than you do in other situations. Every single one of those guys, I believe, has a better career batting average with runners in scoring position than they do their actual career batting average, because it's easier to hit in those situations. What the Padres are doing is staggeringly impossible almost. How could you possibly be that much worse in a situation that the history of baseball tells you is easier?
Favors the hitter.
It favors the hitter. And you have somehow managed to turn this into a
not
nightmare.
just one or two guys, the
All
whole
of them.
damn lineup.
Yeah, you expect two or three guys are going to be below their career averages. You know,
Not 245
two or three will be above,
points.
and two or three will be right around the same. That's how it works with runners in scoring position. You don't have lineups that are entirely 100 points below their career averages with runners in scoring position. It's insane.
You can't. It's going to be hard.
And
it's going to be hard to go on a run, guys.
And it's almost. I mean, there's no book on how to fix that either. There's no coaching manual that says, what do I do if my team can't hit with runners in scoring position? That's a blank page.
There is the only way you can do it, unfortunately, is just continue to get opportunities and fight your way through it. That's the only answer. The only answer, there's nothing to it, Ben, but to do it. In fact, it's the only way you change. It's not even a narrative. A narrative is something Ben and I create to suit our purposes. These are hard numbers, guys. This is hard numbers. And when you look at that and you go, well, of course Bob Melvin's not going to bring Luis Garcia in, and because 4-2 in the seventh, still pretty high leverage. It's still a high leverage situation. Of course, Bob Melvin's not going to bring Ray Kerr in.
Well,
in a high, it's not the highest,
and you
but
bring
it's
in
high.
Tim Hill to keep the lead right there with the hopes that you add on. And by the time you get to the ninth, it's a low leverage situation.
Exactly.
You're up 7-2.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter because someone hit a 3-run homer.
That's exactly right.
All right, we got more phone calls on the line. 833-288-0973. Quick check of traffic. We're not taking a timeout. We'll come back with your calls after this look at traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Kia of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the premier auto family, here's Kelly Tannick.
Traffic is sponsored by Hamul Casino. Got a collision in National City, southbound at 5 near Harbor Drive. That is over the right shoulder. Looks like a couple vehicles involved in that. Looking for a genuinely awesome job? Hamul Casino is looking for you. If you're a fun, positive person over 18, check out our job fair Thursday, June 22nd, 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. We offer competitive pay, generous benefits, and plenty of team member perks. Learn more at HumulCareers.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's keep it going out there. Let's go to Eric. You are next up with Ben and Woods on this is tragically painful Tuesday morning on 97.3 The Fan. Hello, Eric.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, you guys should get hazard pay for being kind of psychiatrists and psychologists on a morning like this. You know what I mean?
I need one myself, my friend. I got therapy tomorrow.
Yeah,
at
no
3
kidding.
o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, couple of quick things. And you're right about the offense. I don't know how feasible it is, but with a couple of guys who were going to be really important coming into this year, I think with Bogaerts, if you're injured, I mean, you got to get better. You got to get on the IL. I mean, I keep hearing this thing about, his wrist. If he can't swing the bat, he shouldn't be in the lineup. So he needs to get his wrist fixed. As far as Jake is concerned, everybody high expectations every year. You look at the back of his baseball card every year, he's regressed. He's gotten worse and worse on his numbers and his productivity. I don't know how feasible this is, but he needs to go down to AAA and figure it out. He's got the biggest uppercut swing of anybody I've almost ever seen. And he's still missing on the same pitches that he's always missed. And the pitchers that come in, they know exactly where his red zone is and where his bad zone is.
Up and in, baby.
He continues to get out on those pitches. It was the same last year and it's the same this year. And as far as Garcia, you can't bring him in that situation. You could just tell by the look in his face that he did not want to be there. And the question you have to ask is, do you trust him in any situation in a game? And if not, why is he even on the roster?
Why is he on the roster?
I'll give you the answer on all three of them. Well, two of them. You said Jake Cronenworth, Luis Garcia. I'll throw in Trent Grisham because I keep seeing people tweeting, how can you continue to give Trent Grisham at bats? Struck out twice again yesterday, as struck out looking, I think, top 10 in all of baseball. I keep saying, when are the Padres going to wake up and put someone else out there? When are they going to wake up and put Jake on the bench? When are they going to stop bringing in guys like Luis Garcia? And the answer is the same for all three. They don't have anyone
There's
else
no
to
one
put
else.
in there. Who are you going to put out there? Who is ready to come in? There's no one in the minor leagues. There's no one on the bench.
You saw the Giants bring up the center fielder last night. You saw them bring in their new catcher.
You
that
want
we saw
Carpenter to
last
play
night.
more at first base instead of Jake?
No.
He's been worse than Jake
No doubt.
at the plate, and he's worse defensively.
Yeah, there's a band called Less Than Jake. He's been less than
Is there
Jake.
really a less than Jake?
Yeah. Matt Carpenter's less than Jake.
Trent Grisham, who are you going to put out in center field? Yeah, move Tatis over
and put
Then
Brandon
who are you
Dixon.
putting out in the corner?
Right.
But you can't upgrade. There's no way to upgrade the Padres by bringing someone from the bench or from AAA right now.
It's why I'm when you hear me this morning and I'm mad, it's not anger, it's fear. It's fear coming out of me. That's what I'm afraid of. Nights like last night does one thing. It exposes what this team is. A very, very thin team, up and down. Very thin. One guy goes down, we're toast. In our perfect world at the beginning of the season, we all sat here and went, man, it's going to be rad when we have so many starting pitchers that Lugo can now. Imagine Lugo in that game last night coming in. He could get those outs. Absolutely. But who steps up for that fifth starter role? Sure ain't Ryan Weathers. We've seen that.
That's why this team is well built for the playoffs.
Right.
They really are.
If they can get there,
I mean,
are.
The runner in scoring position thing, they could have a great month with runners in scoring position, turn it around, hit 50 points above their average easily, and be scoring 9 or 10 runs a game.
And still be below their career average.
The bullpen length would be incredible. If you're only using 3 or 4 starters, you got Lugo out there, you got Martinez, you got days off because of travel in the playoffs.
Hader.
You are well built for the postseason.
Yeah,
the Padres are an October team that the way things are trending aren't going to even get there.
What's our percentage to make the playoffs?
It's like 53.
Still?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, 53 is what I saw from ESPN 2 days ago when they did.
That's 2 days ago.
Well, I think they've won one and they've lost one, so it should be right around the same place, I would think, at 53%. Let's keep with the phone lines. What do you have?
Oh, okay. This is old. Never mind.
833-288-0973. Let's go to Arturo. Arturo, you're next up with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Guys, good morning.
Good
gentlemen.
morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Well, during the wait, you hit on a few of the things I wanted to talk about.
That's all right. You can reiterate.
The high leverage stuff, I definitely would have brought in Garcia earlier if he were going to. I mean, and Melvin probably knew already who he had available and what he was going to do, sort of a plan. Yes, it's high leverage still in the 7th, but it's more high leverage in the 9th.
Big time.
And another thing that you guys didn't touch on, but I'd really want to hit it. It might sound like I don't like Manny, but believe me, I love Manny. But I think he's pressing this year. I think part of it might be that he's back and he's no longer the highest home run hitter, and now we have Soto, and you added Bogart to it, and it seems like every time he's up there, he's trying to jack the ball out.
I'll say this:
opposed to just being a professional hitter and hitting behind the runner, or they say I get tired of hearing, oh, he's not getting paid to bunt. Well, he's not getting paid to strike out or hit into ground ball double plays either.
I get you.
Right?
I get you. And I agree with you. And he's my favorite player. That being said, yeah, man. I thought last night that's as locked in as I've seen Manny Machado on that at bat against Camilo Doval, who is, I mean, if you watch the game, or if you know anything about baseball, he's one of the nastiest pitchers in baseball. He's so dirty. 11 pitch AB, struck him out on an 81 mile an hour slider after he'd been throwing 100 mile an hour cutters in on his hands. And then he started working away. And then he just flips it. And Manny K's kind of looks at him like, all right, tip my hat to you, sir. That being said, I don't necessarily want Manny Machado bunting in that situation. Hindsight being 2020.
It's better than striking out.
I
don't know. It's weird. When you're the road team, it's hard to just play for the one run.
Yeah. Especially with
because
the bullpen we have.
You don't feel like you're going to win the game with one run because obviously the home team's going to get a runner on second as well. When you don't score, though, I think it's a simple decision. The Giants had Sable lay down the bunt, move the runners over to second and third. Then they put the pressure on the Padres. Do you walk Yastrzemski? Do you pitch to him? If you load the bases, you're possibly forcing in a winning run. But if you don't, you're giving a guy who's hot a chance to win the game. They rolled the dice one way or the other, and it didn't work out for the Padres.
It did not work out in extra innings. They have not won an extra inning game after.
Manny's not having a good season.
He's not.
Whether it's health, whether it's pressing, whether it's trying to do too much, and with all these other stars around him in the lineup and looking like you still want to be the guy. I don't know what it is.
That's the thing is like, and I've told this story before, and AJ Preller's even confirmed this story on our show. Manny, no one wants stars here more than Manny Machado. Manny, he is the original junior GM.
He's not pouting.
No, I don't think he's pouting.
He's just having a bad season.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, that's not it. It's not, oh man, I don't like the spotlight's not. He wants those guys. He is the original junior GM. He's the one in AJ's ear saying, let's get this guy. Let's go get me this guy. Give me this guy. Like AJ has to deal with that for sure. They've done it. They brought in stars. The other stars can't hit anymore. Xander Bogaerts, he's not hitting.
Everyone's had, of the top 4 stars, they've all had some hot and cold streaks. But now that we're halfway through the season, nearly there, it's very clear. Tatis and Soto, 900 OPS. They're having really solid all-star seasons. Machado and Bogaerts, around 700 OPS. They're having really crummy seasons right now. And it's late enough that you can now say that. It's not just a small sample size. It's not just a one cold streak. Manny and Xander are having bad years right now. Now, there's still half a year to turn it around, but they're having bad years. Tatis and Soto are having good years. Tatis is having a really good year at this point.
Yeah, he is. And the other caller hit on something. If Xander Bogaerts is hurt, if he's hurt, if his wrist is hurt, go get it fixed. Do what you have. Take some more time.
It's interesting
because here's what you can do. You can put Ha-Seong Kim at short, and you can put Rugi Odor at second base. Rugi Odor continues to hustle. He continues to bust his ass, die to win.
He's doing all the right things.
Never thought I would say this.
They keep saying he's not a candidate for surgery. Like, it's not a surgical thing they can fix.
Is it a rest thing?
I don't know. I mean, the rest looked like it helped for a few days. Has the rest worn off, and does he need another 4 or 5 days again? Just give him an IL stint around the All-Star break coming up and give him like 2 weeks off. I don't know what it is. He can get the cortisone shot at the All-Star break. Will that fix everything for Xander Bogaerts? But he's not the guy they're paying for. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
He's not the guy we saw with the Boston Red Sox over the last few years. The Padres have not gotten that. Outside of the first 3 weeks, Padres have not gotten that Xander Bogaerts. He's been a bust. Now, an 11-year contract, you're not a bust with one half of a bad season.
Eric
but
says,
so far, so bad.
Eric says Odor's had some bad plays at second versus Tampa. Yeah, he has. I mean, they weren't bad plays. They're just not plays that he can get to like Ha-Seong Kim can. That being said, don't we sacrifice that at this point to if Xander's hurt? I'd rather him be on the IL than swinging one-handed up there and grounding into double plays. And again, the inability to add on last night is another reason that killed us with a very, very thin bullpen. I don't even think you can call that bullpen thin. It's bare.
All right, we'll talk more about this with Jesse Agler.
I'll do this all day.
At 8:35 on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. We bumped everything from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, so Take on Woods and Don't Do This are both coming up next. And, of course, we'll talk more about the blame game from last night's loss. We're not going anywhere. It's Ben and Woods until 10 on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, halfway home. Very therapeutic Tuesday, as it were. Didn't have to be. Did not have to be. But that's the bag we've been left holding today here on Ben and Woods. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl is our executive producer. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, is here. Had a little short in my brain. Benjamin Higgins.
Higgins
happens when I
get
get
Max Headroom.
That's a very modern reference. Paulie, any idea who Max Headroom is?
He's the guy that did the thing one time.
He did. Was he on Coke commercials?
He
New
was,
Coke?
yeah, and he was I think the actor was Matt,
the reliever
who
for the
played
Rangers.
Max Headroom. Look him up on YouTube, Paulie. We can go get down into a Max Headroom rabbit hole this morning.
Can he pitch out of the bullpen? Is what I'm interested in, and the answer is a resounding no.
Fictional character played by actor Matt Frewer.
No, Matt Frewer.
Advertised as the first computer-generated TV presenter.
It was
like Chat GPT before we actually had
the
technology to create an AI person. So we just had a B-list actor play him.
So I know you want to do all our normal stuff. But
Yeah.
I really don't want to.
You don't want to do our normal stuff. You really want to do another hour of just taking calls and
No.
being mad at the Padres.
I
You
want
know,
to
you
do
don't-
another 2 hours
2
on being
hours.
mad at the Padres and taking calls.
But we got Jesse coming up here in a few minutes.
Well, we'll be talking Padres with him.
Bottom of the
Oh,
hour.
I almost just said the F word. I'm so frustrated.
Frustrated.
So
It's an F
frustrated.
word.
That is
It is an F word.
frustrated. Mother frustrated.
Why don't you go frustrate
That
yourself?
works, actually. That works. Mother frustrated. That's how I feel right now. God bless. We knew it. We all knew it. Everybody knew it.
What do we have positive then? Maybe
Not a damn thing.
Ha-Seong Kim had a nice game.
Super.
Came through with a
Juan
hit in the
Soto
clutch,
had
had
2
three
solo
hits.
shots. That was great. Oppo, it's great. Fantastic.
Apparently, Juan Soto said he had the most miserable
Yeah.
batting practice
So funny.
of his season. I mean, even in the cage, he
Said
said
he was grounded.
topping it, could not hit anything in the cage. And of course, he breaks out with, I think he had only had one opposite field home run all season
and
one like to center.
And
this-
never a multi-homer game for the Padres until last night.
and he does it in a pitcher's ballpark
Yep.
to the opposite field
Yeah.
twice. Baseball makes very little sense.
Really does.
I think that's our problem.
It's a
We
hard
sit
game to
here
love.
for 20 hours a week trying to make sense of something that doesn't make a ton of sense. Then again, we came on the air yesterday and told you that last night's game could easily happen, that the Padres could easily find themselves trying to protect the lead with a depleted bullpen and getting into a really dicey situation in the 8th or the 9th inning where they're going to have to go to someone who wasn't Nick Martinez or Steven Wilson or Josh Hader in the 9th and not being able to trust or rely on that person. Because honestly, Bob Melvin had no great options. We have come to agree this morning that leaving Tim Hill in for a third inning
Softies.
was probably the best option.
I'm mad at Bob Melvin.
You
Bob Melvin.
shills.
I'm
there
mad.
was no chance of bringing in any of those three guys. It's been fairly determined that they were all given the night off. And you can't give a reliever a night off and say, don't worry about
Actually,
your
heat up.
normal. Don't go through your normal,
Heat up.
Trevor Hoffman, when he would come in the 9th inning, he start that process
In the 6th.
Yeah, not like in the 2nd or the 3rd.
Oh, just getting
between
stretched
going
out.
into the locker room to treadmill and then the stretching routine and everything that went into it. It's innings and innings and innings. So when you're told you've got the night off, don't go through all of that. We want you to really be down. You can't all of a sudden go, oh man, it's the 9th inning. Get Hader up. It's like, Coach, I needed to start this an hour and a half ago if you were going to use me. So those three guys were out of the question, and everyone else is unreliable.
Let me and listen, again, the thing that really makes me fearful. And you hate to play the comparison game. What's that saying about comparison? It's the recipe for death or something. It's true.
I don't think that there's a saying that
Something like
comparison
that.
is the recipe for death.
No, it's the recipe for unhappiness, right?
Okay.
Something like that. When you compare yourself, like, well, I'm better than him.
I think like the grass is always greener on the other side.
Will you
or
let me
something like
make my
that.
point here? For the love of God, I'm homicidal. I totally lost
Comparison
my
is
train
the
of thought.
thief of joy.
The thief of joy.
There's your expression.
So when
The
you
instant recipe for unhappiness.
so when you look around at other big league teams in contention, right? Everyone's got a reservoir They've got reserves. They've got reserves that they can go to. I'm looking at the numbers of our reserves. I understand it's El Paso. The balls fly out of there. I understand. You want to lose your mind? Go look at what our top pitchers are doing at the highest level in the minor leagues. Matt Waldron, Ben's got a 702. Jay Groom's got a 980. Anderson Espinoza, 612. Reese Kinnear, 404. Far and away the star of El Paso right now. Pedro Avila, 929 ERA. Jake Sanchez, 796. Jose Castillo, remember him? 1145 ERA. Nick Duran, 1291. Michel Baez, 1105. There's nobody.
Now, the Padres also have hitters with 1,100 OPSs who we've brought up, like Rivas and Lopes, and they don't do anything in the big leagues. So it's really not fair to hold all those numbers against you in AAA.
We got 3 guys in AAA with numbers of OPSs over 1,000. 2 of them are on the roster right now in Preston Tucker and Fernando Tatis Jr. So the hitting isn't all that great down there right now. Tim Lopes is having a nice season down there. Preston Tucker, who they did call up, put on the IL, he's having a nice season as well. He's 32 years old, I believe. Yeah, man. So the offense, yeah, sure, it'd be nice to get a little boost from one of these guys if they could come in and spell someone. But what I'm concerned about is the pitching. And what I'm concerned about is the pitching on days that Wilson, Martinez, and Hader can't go. That's where you really need the help.
But isn't that a Cadillac problem? If you're winning so many games that every third game you've got a lead, you have some bullpen issues. Even if you lose 50% of those games.
What's our record if we lose 50% of the games for the rest of the year?
If we win the 2 and then lose 50% of the third game, we're going to win the division.
We haven't won all the 2.
Well, then you don't have to worry about it because you're not going to bring in Hader and Martinez.
Sure. Those guys give up runs.
Yeah,
Josh Hader's blown safe.
Yeah, occasionally. But how many times this season have the Padres needed those guys for a third straight day? I think this is the first time that I can remember that they've had 3 straight close games trying to protect the lead. It doesn't happen that often. You don't need your highest leverage guys 6 days a week.
Well, you're making my point.
Had so many
you're
times,
making my point.
There's been so many times the Padres have not needed Josh Hader more than once over 2 weeks, and you're going,
sure, I know,
dying on the vine out there.
We had to throw him in the 10-run lead because he hadn't worked in 2 weeks.
Because they're either too far ahead or behind,
which
I
totally
haven't even used them.
But you're making my point for me in that you're right. You shouldn't have to use your you shouldn't be in the position to use your high leverage relievers every single day, and you can't do it. But the laws and physics of the human body isn't going to let it happen. Wilson cannot throw every day. Hader cannot throw every day. That said, you have nobody else unless you're up 6 or down 6.
I think ultimately the best chance for the Padres to go on a winning streak,
you have to score
is for the hitters to start hitting with runners in scoring position.
You need 11 close games
and then score 11 the next day. It doesn't matter who you bring in.
That's
how the Padres are going to win. And guess what? That's how they were built.
Yes,
to win games.
Yes,
AJ Preller, as much as we've criticized him today, and he has deserved it for many reasons. He built a team with the expectation that they would have the best offense in baseball. Wasn't just him saying it. Every preview that we read, not only said the Padres should have the best offense in baseball, they said it might be historically good.
Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. But they're not. They're not that offense.
Yeah, and
so how do they fix it?
They've shown that. They're not.
I mean, who's available at the trade deadline? You see Aroldis Chapman is thrown out there. A couple of guys from the Royals. Who is out there? And then, not only that, who's out there? Who do you have to give up? Half your roster's locked up for 5 years.
Yeah, and listen, and your best prospects are all very low-level prospects, guys. This is none of those. Salas, Merrill, who's the pitcher? Snelling. These guys aren't knocking at the door anytime soon. They're not. AJ Preller still has 4 prospects.
It's fun to live in a fantasy land of, okay, we can go out and get another outfielder. We can move Tatis over. We can get a first baseman.
There are other organizations who would be interested in those guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But this team was built
be willing to give up a bullpen arm. You can't be trading your top prospects for, 3 months of bullpen.
I agree. What is the alternative? You're not developing. You don't have anybody in reserve.
I think you have to start hitting. If the Padres don't start consistently hitting better, especially with runners in scoring position, the season is going nowhere. We just went through those stunning numbers. If those don't get better, and they should get better, but if they don't, the season's going nowhere. and it'll be very easy to pinpoint where it was. And it wasn't the back end of the bullpen. The back end of the bullpen is not why the Padres are 2 games under 500. It's not. It's the offense. It's the offense. Padres are near the best in the league in run prevention. Let's not forget about the forest of the problem of this season. The one tree yesterday was the back end of the bullpen. The forest is the offense. It's not. And yesterday the offense was also a problem. We just have a more glaring, mistake that happened in the 9th inning. But that didn't even have to happen if Xander Bogaerts hadn't grounded into a double play with first and third and the 3rd inning when he came up with a chance to add on there. If the Padres had been able to score a run in the top of the 10th or a couple of runs.
Tatis, of all people, on second base.
They had
score on a
your
pop
dream situation. You had the most dynamic base runner in baseball on second base, and you had Juan Soto, Manny Machado, and Xander Bogaerts coming up. You should expect to score 3.5 runs in that situation. And the Padres can't get one.
No.
That's where the problem is.
We expected it in April.
Well,
we know what it is now.
But that's the Padres problem. It's not. Luis Garcia, that sucked. And I can't trust him, but he's not the one that's wrecking this Padres season.
But it's not just Luis Garcia. It's not just Luis Garcia, Ben. It's Brent Honeywell.
Padres have enough bullpen to be good this year.
They don't.
It's not. They do.
They don't.
They have enough bullpen to be a really winning team.
In October, they do. We're not in October. We're not even knocking
They have
at
enough
the door
in the
of
regular
October.
season.
They
do.
They don't.
They do. They have to hit.
They don't.
They have to hit.
They do not have enough. There's not enough in that bullpen. Not
they
even
were
close.
scoring 6 runs a game. They'd be 20 games over 500. They don't need that much bullpen help if they were hitting. They were hitting. If they scored 6 runs last night,
but they're not hitting.
They're not hitting, and there's no bullpen. What do you mean? If they were hitting, they haven't hit.
I know they need to hit. They're not doing. I mean, they need to fix that problem first. That's a bigger. Gross.
Let's play Take on Woods.
All right. Do we have a contestant? Jack, is there someone ready to play Take on? Okay, we do. Let's do it. Let's play. All right. Well, that was an impromptu decision by Woods. So let's get right to it. Joe, good morning.
Morning. How you doing?
All right. Let's try to qualify you for the trip to Las Vegas. 2 nights. Is your phone line working okay? Let me hear you again, Joe. Negative.
Oh, boy.
Negative. All right. Let's take a timeout. We'll push back, Take on Woods. We'll come back in our next break. If you want to call in, 833-288-0973. We also have Jesse coming up. If we tried to get someone now, we'd blow the whole hour. So we're going to check traffic. We'll come back. We'll do Take on Woods and maybe Don't Do This as well. Don't go anywhere. It's Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. you want to stay connected with Ben and Woods all week long, give us a follow in the Odyssey app for easy access to clips, show reminders, and more. Simply download the Odyssey app and follow Ben and Woods. Listen to us no matter where you are. I also wanted to point out, if you are a YouTube streamer, Paulie is adding some new features to YouTube all the time, including a chaptering feature he was showing us yesterday. So if you go back, later and you miss some of the show and, hey, I want to listen to the Padres recap, I want to listen to Take on Woods, you can now do that very easily on our YouTube stream as well. Is that not right, Paul?
That is correct. Trying to make it easier.
Yeah, because sometimes we play, most of the time we play Take on Woods at 7:10.
Yeah, new audience, right?
We pushed it back. We failed in our attempt in our last segment to do so. So the third time's the charm. Let's get to Take on Woods. Luckily, it's a good intro, and I don't mind hearing it multiple times in the morning. We got Dominic in as our contestant today. Good morning, Dominic. How are you?
Doing well. Ready to destroy Woods' morning even more.
Nice. Good. All right, and you got a good phone connection, everything we were looking for. All right, so you are trying to qualify for a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas and 2 tickets to headliner Luke Bryan at the Resorts World Theater. Tickets are available, VIP packages at access.com, AXS.com, or RWLasVegas.com, August 30th through September 9th. Now, you get to pick our category today. Here are your choices. We've got the periodic table. If you're a chemistry buff, good one for you. Elements, song titles, and artists with elements in the name. A Real Somebody, 5 songs with the word somebody in the title. And our new category, Touchy-Feely. Those are songs that include either the word touch or feel in the title. So of those 3, Dominic, periodic table, A Real Somebody, or Touchy-Feely, what would you like to play?
I'm going to go with A Real Somebody.
A Real Somebody. All right. You'll get the 5 questions first. Then Woods will come in, get the same 5. If you can beat or tie him, you will qualify for the trip to Las Vegas. Our first question is our 2-second song. You listen to the song that Paulie plays. Give me the title and the artist to score that point. And then we go on from there. Pass if you don't know one. We'll come back if there's time left on the clock at the end. Are you ready, Dominic?
I'm ready.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. The category is A Real Somebody. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Dominic. Let's take on Woods.
That's the Killers. Pass.
All right, New Zealand artist Kimbra sang the female part of which song that became a huge hit for Gautier in 2011?
Somebody that I used to know.
Correct. Last year's biographical movie about Whitney Houston used the name of which 1987 hit from her Whitney album?
I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Correct. Sharing a similar sound to Bohemian Rhapsody, which Queen hit shares a title with a 1967 Jefferson.
Somebody to Love.
Correct. Michael and Jermaine Jackson provide guest vocals on which 1984 song by Rockwell?
Somebody's Watching Me.
Correct. Back to our 2-second song.
Somebody Told Me, The Killers.
Yes! Hey, outstanding, Dominic. That was the best played game by a contestant in a long time. You have qualified for the trip to Las Vegas. The only question now is whether you get an outright victory on Take on Woods. So, yeah, Somebody Told Me, The Killers, somebody I used to know, I want to dance with somebody to love, and Somebody's Watching Me. Let's bring Woods back in. We'll give him the same 5 questions that Dominic just got. Dominic was hoping to take you down and ruin your day even more, I'm sorry to say.
It'd be hard to do.
We'll see if he can do it. You don't get the category, makes it tougher for
Very
you.
short on this.
Let's reset the 2-second song. 60 seconds back on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Dominic.
Somebody Told Me, The Killers.
Correct. New Zealand artist Kimbra sang the female part of which song that became a huge hit for Gautier in 2011?
Somebody That I Used to Know.
Correct. Last year's biographical movie about Whitney Houston used the name of which 1987 hit from her Whitney album?
Pass.
Sharing a similar sound to Bohemian Rhapsody, which Queen hit shares a title with the 1967 Jefferson Airplane classic.
Somebody to Love.
Correct. Michael and Jermaine Jackson provide guest vocals on which 1984 song by Rockwell?
Somebody's Watching
Correct.
Me.
Last year's biographical movie about Whitney Houston used the name of which 1987 hit from her Whitney album?
when you love somebody.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. 4 out of 5. Very
You're
good.
gonna
though, Woods.
hate yourself.
And
Yeah,
by
5
a
out of
4-5
5.
score, Dominic has
I want to dance with
won.
I
somebody.
want to dance.
Somebody. And of course, the category was a real somebody today. So Woods on a tough day already goes down and take on Woods to Dominic.
4 for 5, struck out in the 9th.
Really great game, Dominic. Hang
Game
on
on
the
the
line.
line.
Paulie's going to get all your information during the break.
Hey, that's
you even can choose a Daily Ditty song for tomorrow. The theme is duets, but you can go any direction you'd like.
Let's do it.
Congratulations. He got the last 4, came back and got the killer song on the rebound with
probably
time
looked at his
left on
phone.
the clock. He didn't sound like he was taking time to look anything up.
He
Dominic
knew it
was
right
ready.
away. He said it's the Killers.
Yeah,
pass.
he just needed a little help on the title, and he got it at the end. Very well played by Dominic.
4
Maybe
for
he should
5,
be coming in
DFA'd.
in the 9th inning for the Padres when they need some relief out of the bullpen, because that was a high leverage situation and a clutch performance. Dominic threw strikes. He came in, got the ball over the plate.
Yeah. Just I mean, no,
you're okay.
I threw strikes.
Yeah, you gave
They
up
just
one.
hit
You
me.
gave up a double, and you're fine. You got out of the inning, unscathed, but you did not end up getting the win. Happens sometimes, even to the best of them. Even Josh Hader blows a save every once in a while.
He does. Not on 3 days in a row.
No.
What are you guys gonna do with Jesse coming up after
I don't
the
know.
break?
We're gonna make him play the incorporator.
Typically, he's talking us off the ledge every week.
Maybe we
He's
talk
our
him
voice
off
of
the ledge. Maybe he
reason.
comes in and he's a wreck. He's a wreck, and we need to help Jesse get through this.
He
this
just
tough
didn't even
period.
sleep. He's just, I'm just getting back to the room. What's up?
He's waking up in a nice hotel room
Yeah,
in
he
San
is. San
Francisco.
Francisco.
It's a good city.
A nice
for a
cup of
4-game
coffee.
series. You can get up in the morning, enjoy yourself, head down to Fisherman's Wharf.
Yeah.
The BART.
What's your San Francisco day like? What do you?
Oh, mine? I've
Yeah.
only been once. And my day was I did a bike ride with my wife around this beautiful park. That was day 1. And then we made sweet, passionate love in the hotel. She's probably blushing right now. Then we went to Alcatraz the next day and had a blast.
That's on the list. I want to go to Alcatraz so bad.
My best,
incredible.
My best ever
Been to
San Francisco day.
once, didn't make it out there.
Bar none. Went with a friend who speaks Chinese. Took me to Chinatown. Went to House of Nanking. He ordered everything in Chinese.
Oh yes,
Had the best
meal.
The best meal I have ever had. It was fantastic. And of course, they treat you so much better when you're with someone who speaks the language. I think you get better service. It was fantastic. And that was a really good experience. I would recommend it highly to anyone who can do that. That was terrific.
I loved it. I've only been one time, but it was an incredible city. Just walked around a lot, just beautiful
Good
city.
exercise. A lot of hills.
A lot of hills.
In San Francisco. Did you do a cable car?
No, we did get Irish coffees though at that really famous
Lombard
place.
Street, the little crooked street that goes down. I did that
we ever
once.
got on
yeah.
one of those.
No,
I think we got on one.
Did the crooked street once.
But we did.
we didn't go up. We were at
Alcatraz.
the bottom of the hill and I looked up. And
Did you have the
there it
Kung
is.
Pao chicken Johnny wants?
We had like some peanut noodles and stuff. They were just fantastic.
All right.
Really, really good. And I've been to Oracle Park, done a game.
I've not.
Smelled the garlic fries. I did not order them.
I've been to one game up there. It was the Buster Posey game.
Where he got hurt?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
It was
changing that rule, Buster.
wild.
All right, it is 8:30. Jesse Agler is coming up next, the voice of the Padres on an Incorporator Tuesday. I don't know if he's going to be in the mood for it. We'll see when we come back with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. And by the way, good job, Dominic. Well played. Sauer 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Cars.com. Whether you're looking for the perfect summer road trip car or something you can zip around in, visit Cars.com today. They have over 2 million cars for your 2 million summer possibilities. Head to Cars.com, check out the possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next? Where to next on this program is to San Francisco, where the voice of the Padres, Jesse Agler, is standing by. Jesse, usually a voice of reason. It's been a very emotional morning, though. We'll see how Jesse's feeling after this
Told him we
check-in.
played the blame game for the first hour, and he said, "Ooh, fun!
Yeah,
super fun."
Jesse coming up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Kia of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Tannick.
Not much relief on our roads this morning, guys. We still have a few problem spots. One of them is this crash on westbound King Freeway right at the northbound 805 connector. It's over to the right shoulder. Also traveling on the northbound side of the 5 before Claremont Drive. A collision involving a couple vehicles. That is over to the right shoulder. And South 5 coastline before Lucadia. An accident has been moved over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
You know, when we spun the blame game wheel, the name Jesse Agler never came up.
It did. Ours comes up a lot.
How much blame do we assign to Jesse Agler for the loss last
Why
night?
doesn't Jesse get any but we do?
I feel
That's
like
what
it's pretty low, but he actually, he could have talked to Bob Melvin or Ruben Niebla before the game and said, hey,
He's
guys, I know
literally-
you probably won't listen to me, but maybe you should have one of those high leverage relievers late in the game ready and not give them all the day off at the same time. Jesse, you
Jesse
didn't
is
do
literally
that, though. That
paid
would
by
be
the Padres.
unprofessional.
You guys get accused of being paid by the Padres.
Exactly.
That's true.
Hi, Jesse.
What are people blaming you for?
We're too soft on Bob.
Yeah,
Melvin.
if we were harder, if we held their feet to the fire more. I don't know if that means they'd just have more effort or they'd make better decisions.
Bob
or-
would come away from those interviews and go, "Oh God, I better get my ass together.
Yes,
These
I
guys
think
are
so.
going to light me
Or
up."
if we talk to a player, they'd start hitting better with runners in scoring position
Jesse,
because
it happens.
we ask tougher questions.
Now I'm off Twitter, but Paulie will read tweets, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I mean,
It's got to be a bit, right?
not.
I mean, people can't really.
they really do. I'm not kidding you. I'm not.
That's very
kidding
silly.
you. It is
Very,
very. It is
very
very silly.
Good radio, though. I mean,
Is
it
it?
gets you guys all fired. Yeah. I think so.
I hate games like last night, man. I hate them. You feel like we had that metric that we did last year, the Padres snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, and last night was one of those where you feel like going into the ninth. Yeah, we knew it was going to be dicey. We said it on the show yesterday. We knew the bullpen was short, and when I saw Luis Garcia warming up, we all kind of agreed via text. This is not the guy you want in there in that situation, and it has been a tough go for that guy this season, Jesse.
It has, but you never know which night is going to turn it around. And I'm sure they thought that was their best option. Let's start with the Tim Hill piece first, because I think if you're kind of watching that game and you're a pretty good baseball fan, you're thinking to yourself, hey, why not send Hill back out there? Yep. He had just kind of mowed down 6 guys. He hadn't thrown that many pitches. And yeah, there's an element of he hasn't thrown 3 innings in like forever. I don't think he's ever done it in the big leagues. The up and down thing is a real thing, going to the bench, waiting, going back out onto the field. That takes a toll on the arm, all of that. But beyond that, once Slater was introduced as the pinch hitter, it probably would have been irresponsible to leave Tim Hill in because of how incredibly well Slater has hit left-handed pitching this year. So I think, Gabe Kapler knew that. Bob Melvin knew that. Tim Hill probably knew that in that moment, if Slater was going to come up, he was going to be out of the game. And I don't know that there's a manager in baseball that would have left the lefty in to face Slater in that situation. So that's that one. To me, that's like the main thing is like, all right, because Hill really had looked great. And maybe if it's just some other generic right-handed pinch hitter coming up, you roll the dice and you go with it. I just think the way Slater has hit lefties this year, that, every manager in baseball is probably making that move. And then you got to look at what you got. And, they determined before the game, I am sure, that, hey, when we get down to that, situation, it's going to be Garcia. We like him better than Honeywell or whoever else in this situation. They have their reasons why. And we've all had this conversation, a couple of times over the years. I think the biggest delta that exists, between like fan understanding and the way something works in baseball is bullpen usage.
Yeah,
it's it's very mysterious is maybe not the right word, but it's the thing we all on the outside understand least. as compared to the conversations that actually take place. If anybody is upset about not seeing Wilson, not seeing Martinez, not seeing Hader, I can't help you. It wasn't going to happen. There were no circumstances last night that were going to lead to any of those guys pitching in that game. I mean, unless we went 22 innings or something crazy like that, which doesn't happen anymore, and they just literally had nobody else. Like, outside of that happening, it wasn't going to be a thing. They've got to take care of these guys' arms over the course of the long run. They know what their arms are capable of. They measure every little thing imaginable to make sure, that they're kept as healthy as possible over the course of the season. So, like, that conversation doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned with those three guys. And, again, they determined based on all the things they have that Garcia was going to be the guy last night, and obviously he didn't get it done.
Yeah, the only thing I would say I'm not trying to rebut you, but the only thing, my point earlier was, you're right, he'd mowed through those 6. They do put up Austin Slater. He has mashed lefties, but if he doubles, okay, you're fine. If he homers, you're still up a run. In a one-run game, I can see that. You're painted into a corner because you have a guy in Luis Garcia that's not ready. Brent Honeywell in high leverage situations has been a bit of a gas can. Low leverage, been pretty good. You got kind of Green, Ray Kerr. You've got Drew Carlton's done a good job in some mop up long stuff. You needed to score more runs, really was the bottom line, Jesse, so that you can withstand some runs late, but just wasn't the case last night.
Not only that, but in extra innings. You know what the Padres are offensively in extra innings this year?
Terrible.
We talked about it.
1 for 21.
Yeah,
it's 0 for 18 with runners in scoring position.
It's unbelievable.
The one hit they had didn't even score a run.
No.
The only run they have scored in extra innings this year in now 6 games came on an Austin Nola suicide squeeze in Minnesota. That's the only run they've scored in extra innings. So, like, obviously the pitching thing was troublesome last night, and obviously it was suboptimal. But I'm with you. You got to be able to score some more runs. I'm even fine, honestly, with the 4 in 9 innings. They didn't do much in the last couple of innings, but that kid was dealing. When you had a lead, you kind of, in an ideal world, add on. They didn't. But, at some point, they got to execute. You had the right guys coming up in the 10th inning. They didn't get it done. And that's been the thing in literally every extra inning game this year.
Talking to Jesse Ankler, voice of the Padres here on Ben and Woods. And Jesse, I made the statement earlier today, and I believe this, that these Padres, like last year's team to a great extent, are well built for October with high leverage guys and stars with days off and, a short series. They could definitely make a deep run. I don't know if they're well built to get there, though, because there's not a ton of depth. Woods and I, looking in the minor leagues, we see the Giants pulling up guys that we haven't necessarily heard of that are helping them win. The Arizona Diamondbacks are doing the same, and Padres don't really have that store of young players to bring up that can contribute as well as some of these other teams. Do you see that as being a potentially fatal flaw in this year's team?
Yeah, depth is always a concern, but I love that you're bringing up, the sort of built for October versus built for the regular season thing, because I'm all in on that. And I think, there is a difference there. And obviously you got to get to October to enjoy your built for October team. But look, I don't think AJ Preller and his guys sat down and said, hey, let's build a team for October. And forget that. I can't imagine that was the conversation. You obviously want a team that's built well for October, but I don't think they sit around and choose one or the other. But I think this is like a relatively new phenomenon in baseball where we're all sort of realizing that, the 162 game grind really does require something very different than what is required in October. And I think for most of baseball history, the people who made baseball decisions thought, hey, a good team is a good team, and that's it. But in the last few years, we've just seen so many examples of the quote unquote super team, except for the Astros, I guess, really not, getting to the promised land. And, 2 years ago, remember, the Giants won 107, the Dodgers won 106. Neither one of those teams went on to win it all. Last year, obviously, the Padres knocked the Dodgers out after their historically successful regular season. And there was an element, I think, when all the postmortems were written and said about the Dodgers last year, that, they were built more, quote unquote, as a regular season team than they were as a playoff team. And whether that's just one of those things that's really easy to say after they get knocked out by the Padres or not, there's probably, some element of, as you said, because of the off days, because of, the way the postseason is set up, especially now with all the extra postseason spots, I really do agree that there are differences between, a team, quote, built for the regular season and built for the playoffs. But you have to be good enough to get there. And this Padre team is good enough to get there. Would you like more depth? Sure. Any team would like more depth. Is there depth available? We're going to start talking trade deadline soon, right? It's June 20th now. So you're just a little bit over a month away. You can always go and get relievers, and that kind of thing. So, this is not the roster I imagine that we'll be seeing at the very end of the season for the Padres. I'm quite sure will be looking to add things as they kind of navigate through this. You never know when somebody's going to pop up from the minor leagues, even if it doesn't look like at El Paso right now that there's, some useful guy. There may very well be when all is said and done, but there's no doubt you got to have depth. You got to be, prepared to handle everything. And it's definitely a little top heavy right now for the Padres. There's no doubt.
Yeah, definitely so. Talking to our pal Jesse Agler here on Ben and Woods this morning. I said earlier, a guy told me once that anger, which I'm angry this morning, is hurt, sadness, and fear. And I think fear is the thing that I feel the most out of all of those. I wasn't sad after the loss. I was mad. And that, I think it came from the fear. And the fear, Jesse, is, you just mentioned, guys coming up from the minor leagues. If you look through it, and we did this morning, and we've talked to the guys at Mad Friars all the time. Yeah, there's some good prospects there. They're all, 16 in some cases, 17, 19. Robbie Snelling's 19. They're all pretty young in a team that's built really to win now, win in October. You got to find some reinforcements. Look, AJ Preller has proved to be a wizard at some times, but do you think that the Padres bullpen as it stands today is good enough to win throughout the rest of the season? Because Ben and I had a disagreement about that. I wanted your take.
Here's the thing about, bullpen arms. For as much as the guy struggles yesterday, so often that doesn't mean anything about tomorrow. I'm talking about the high end, back end,
minus our big three. Guys. Yep.
Yeah, there's always going to be ups and downs, not only year to year, but sometimes month to month and week to week. I imagine they'll be looking for relief help. No guarantees, obviously, A, that you'll be able to go get somebody, and B, that the guy will perform at the level you expect. As we've learned the hard way the last few years, weird stuff happens after trades. You're not always getting exactly what you think you're going to get. So it's a little bit more complicated than, hey, this guy's got a 3.28 ERA, let's go get him. But, there are guys to be had. Yes, they can do it. Again, for most of this year, this has been one of the best bullpens in baseball. And you sort of ran into a situation yesterday. It's a perfect storm. It happens to every team a few times a year where your big three, in this case, are not available. And yes, you would like to be able to navigate that. But as we've said a couple of times, you'd like to be able to score some runs.
Yeah.
Again, this has been, look at ERA, whatever, one of the best bullpens in baseball all year. It's not my primary concern. I'm still on the offense. I'm still on waiting for these guys to all get going as a group. I think that's going to be the thing that when it happens, hopefully, the team takes off, and that's the way it's going to go. The pitching has just not been the thing to pick on this year, and I understand yesterday was frustrating, but I don't think you can make a season's worth of assessment based on a frustrating night in San Francisco.
Your thoughts on the attempted steal of third base in the first inning? I kind of roll with, hey man, that's who that kid is. That's what he does, and there's no guarantee that Soto's going to get the same pitches if he's still out there. We know that.
If you've been watching this team,
yeah,
for the last 3 weeks, which I know you have,
yes,
that's what they've been doing. That's how they have had more success. Not only do I have no problem with it, I tell them to do it again.
I love it.
It's a no-brainer.
It's who he is.
It's a no-brainer. It's who he is. It was a great throw, by the way. And I know the kid Bailey, the new catcher, he's done a really good job for them. So that's part of the equation. He's done a really good job throwing guys out. I think he went into last night already having caught 7 guys or something. But that's how they've been doing it. And at the beginning of the year, and by beginning of the year, I mean everything until 3.5 weeks ago, they weren't doing that. They were, I don't want to say playing scared on the bases, but there was definitely a hesitation to run when one of the big dudes was at bat, because that's sort of your old school traditional baseball thinking, right? Well, you don't want to take the bat out of Soto's hands. You don't want to take the bat out of Machado's hands. And then they sort of said, you know what, forget that a few weeks ago. And that's when they started playing better baseball. That's when they started scoring some more runs. That's when they started creating some more opportunities. Moments like that is how it happened. The Giants made the play. Nice job. Good job. Credit to the kid behind the plate. Nice tag over at third base. They got him. It's only the second time he's been caught stealing all year.
Yep.
Or no problem with it whatsoever. If you think that, and I'm not saying this to you because I saw it from other people as well. But if you think like that was the problem last night, again, you're not paying attention to what's going on.
Woods question the first decision of the game. I'll question the last one. I was watching on TV, and Mud defended the decision to pitch to Mike Yastrzemski. You don't want to put Ray Kerr in a tougher spot. I think you'd rather face a rookie who's an offer in that situation, even with the lefty-righty matchup and Matos with the force created at any base and the possibility of a double play. Did you and Tony discuss that at all before the at-bat?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few of those, right? Like, I think in the 9th and the 10th inning. And I think my takeaway with the Yastrzemski one was basically like, hey, a walk is not the worst thing in the world, to go along with what you're saying for everything. Now, that said, like, just having seen so many games like this, it feels like over the years in San Francisco, I'm thinking to myself, Matos, big prospect, first home game ever, already 0 for 4. Of course he's going to win. Like in my head was kind of spinning down that
There's
direction.
a lot of ways to lose. There was no guarantee that they weren't going to lose no matter what they did.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, you just, you want to be fine, I think, with Yastrzemski, and that's easier said than done. Ray Kerr's basically pitching in a situation like that for the first time in his major league career. The intentional walk thing, I'm like, in my brain, when I'm sort of managing along in a game, I'm a very aggressive intentional walker. I've realized over the years, like my inner manager intentionally walks far more people than real managers do. Yeah, I'm like holding 4 fingers out of the booth, with like twice a day, and
love
and
that
it never
force
actually
play.
happens. Yeah, exactly. I love the force at the plate. So I've realized over the years that I'm much more into intentional walks than every other actual big league manager, and I'll assume they know more than I do when it comes to that. But yeah, you want to be careful in that situation. Again, easier said than done, and that's how it happens.
Jesse, because right? If you put him on, and the kid comes up and
slider hits his toe or something,
why,
and the game's over. It's like, why did you do that?
Walking? It's lefty.
Yeah,
what are you doing, you idiot? Go get that guy.
Sometimes there's nothing but bad choices that are left out there.
That's the worst job in the world.
Look, the reality is, at the end of the day, you got to ask your guys to execute. Your players.
That's it.
They're the ones on the field.
Yep.
And they're big leaguers. They're the best in the world. And sometimes as a manager, really all you can do is be like, hey, man, go and get them.
Go get it.
And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
Jesse executes the incorporator every week for us, where he comes, gets a weird vocabulary word that he then has to figure out how to work seamlessly into that night's radio broadcast with Tony Gwynn Jr. I get to pick this week. Here we go, Jesse. Your incorporator word for tonight is rubblization. Rubblization, very simple, construction and engineering technique that involves saving time and transportation costs by reducing existing concrete into rubble at its current location rather than hauling it to another location.
Oh, yeah. It like breaks it up. Yeah,
rubblization.
That's a great word. Really fun to say. Love it.
So enjoy that. We'll be listening for it. We'll play it back tomorrow at usually around 6:20 and 8:20 for our listeners. And hopefully we'll be talking about a win and everyone's feeling a little bit better. But thank you for your time, Jesse.
You got it, guys. Hang in there, everybody.
Appreciate it.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Jesse Agler, voice of the Padres on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Got caught doing some rubblization lately.
Rubblization?
Last week.
What?
It happens. Grown man, dude. Middle
You're
of the
just
day,
trying
what
to
do you
save
expect?
some time and transportation costs.
Correct.
You got caught.
Get caught.
Rubblization.
Yep.
Did you forget to tell us, or did you plan on not telling us?
What's a funny word? Made me think of it. Rubblization. It's a fantastic word. It's not what it means, but yeah, I got caught.
But you could use it if you needed to.
But
She caught me.
okay,
Yeah, you know
she
my wife.
caught you. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure. That could have been really bad.
Yeah, could have been way worse.
Are we going to get more of the story when we come
Not
back?
the first time. I'll tell the story. I'm not embarrassed. It happens.
Okay.
Ben and Woods After Dark. Hopefully the sun goes down in the next 3 minutes.
I'm not the only guy it's happened to.
Come back.
It's happened to both of you before. Guaranteed.
Never.
Liar.
Liar.
Don't lie to me.
Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I also am a simple man. I like certain things.
Somebody says in the chat, Hannah canceled Woodsy's parade.
She did. She did. Walked in right in the middle of the parade.
I don't get the sense that the parade ended, though.
It's
For
just
most
harder
people,
to get the parade
that's the
started.
end of the parade.
It's harder to get the parade started again.
You don't
feel-
get to the champagne corks popping.
No.
At the end of the parade when someone interrupts the middle of the parade.
That's true. It's harder to get the parade going on the route again. But I did.
You did.
A little embarrassed, but what are you gonna do? Grown man, middle of the day. I don't know her schedule. She sells real estate. She's in, she's out.
She made it all the way through the parade route and popped the champagne cork.
She didn't have anything.
But
to do
you
with
did.
it. Yeah.
You made it all the way through.
Yeah, just had to restart the engines.
Now she had a technical concern.
It was very traumatic for her. She walked in, and yes, nobody wants to see that. I would actually love to see it in reverse, 100%.
But it doesn't work.
It's
that way.
actually, it's never happened, never will. But that's kind of what I.
That is one of the biggest gender gap.
Yes, in my opinion.
I think that's just
like
generally true.
We're not blaming our wives for being just disgusted if they were to walk in and see that.
No, I would not,
get it.
I would not
But
be
the
disgusted.
reaction the other way would be completely different.
Completely. And yeah, she walked in and it's very. I go, oh, how's that, right? Why is the door open? I go, because I thought I was alone in the middle of the day. You knew I was coming. I said, you said you were getting your nails done. That doesn't take that long. All right. Well, this is what it is at this point. And she goes, well, if you're going to do that, you need to cover the camera on your laptop. And I go, why? I said, I'm not streaming this. I'm not streaming this. I'm not Carlos Asuaje over here. I said, what for?
I don't think he ever did that.
I know, but like, I'm not streaming anything. What am I embarrassed about?
She thought
you get hacked.
Yeah,
that happens for sure.
Does it?
Yeah,
They hack into my camera.
Yeah, people can hack into your camera.
Yeah.
What are they going to see?
But I mean, I'm assuming you're laying down.
Yep.
It's on your chest,
Yep.
the laptop.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna see like from here up.
Right. It's my face.
Making someone
a couple of chins.
Yeah, a few chins.
Now this is where the YouTube stream comes in handy, where we get to see.
So you did not set up your laptop.
No, I
on
wasn't
like your,
shooting
your
it.
dresser.
No.
And you're laying on your bed. You're like squinting at the 12-inch screen.
No,
show me that face.
Yeah. It's a little embarrassing.
Oh, it's embarrassing now. It's not even happening.
I don't care. I mean, it's, it is what it is. It's happened to everybody.
Well, they say 70% of guys do it and 30% of guys lie
about it. Yeah, exactly right. Just listen. I didn't know I needed to shut the door in my own home in the middle of the day. That's my time, by the way. She has an office. She should be in her office. Right? My work day's done.
Maybe you need an office.
I would like in my own office, but it's just not in the cards. There's only so much room. Rubelization, our incorporated word for Jesse.
And we'll have some time for some more calls if you want. 833-288-0973. Call now. Our phone screener is standing by, ready to take your topics. You better come strong, though. He's rejecting people left and right. So come with a strong take, as it were, if you want to talk some Padres here in our final hour. 833-288-0973. While you call in, let's get to Paulie and some headlines.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul. All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
It was very reminiscent, if you've seen the Seinfeld episode of George's mom. I walk in and find my son treating his body like an amusement park. Yes.
Oh man.
The Glamour magazine. Jerry goes, Glamour? This is all I had.
Because he wasn't living with them, right? He was visiting or like house sitting or something.
No, he's just going by his parents' house to drop something off. They weren't home. It was like, hey, there's a Glamour magazine here. Why not? Why not?
Freaking George.
Oh, George. His mother falls, puts her in traction. Got to go to the hospital to visit her.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
All right.
I love you. Now everyone from my kids' preschool knows that's the middle of the day. If you ever wonder what I'm doing in the middle of the day, it's a good chance.
Wait, you call me a lot in the middle
I
of the
do.
day. That's concerning. All right. So
never before.
Thank God. Benny actually sent me this, tipped me off to this story. NBA draft coming up on Thursday.
Shocker, huh?
Victor Wembanyama going to be the clear-cut number
that's
one
not the story.
choice.
I know Paul already knows about Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, we're going to get into a little deeper dive into some of the other draft prospects. In particular, a guy named Jordan Haber. Now,
Jordan Haber, you remember where he played his run in the NCAA tournament?
Oh, yeah. He was good.
Big star.
NC State.
NC State?
Power forward.
Yeah, no.
No, he actually he was from the University of Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't play basketball. Didn't play basketball in high school or middle school either. But he is 21 years old, just graduated from the University of Florida, and he is eligible for the NBA draft.
Okay.
And it turns out that he found loopholes in the draft eligibility for the NBA, and he's been documenting all of this on his TikTok channel. And he found a way, like, he is eligible for the NBA draft more so than like anybody else, like you, me, Ben.
Yeah, he filled out. He got all the paperwork filled out.
He got everything
crossed
done.
his T's and dotted his I's.
He was looking through the NBA's CBA, and he he's like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. He goes, is it really that simple? And he enjoys reading lots of legal documents. That's
law student.
So according to the CBA, it says a person can be eligible for the draft if he is, quote, at least 19 years of age during the calendar year in which the draft is held, and at least one NBA season has elapsed since the player's graduation from high school, and has graduated from a 4-year college or university in the United States, or is to graduate in the calendar year in which the draft is held, and has no remaining intercollegiate basketball eligibility. He emailed the NBA with documentation that proved that he met all of their criteria and filled out the forms that he received back from the NBA, and he is in the draft. He is eligible to be drafted. TikTok blew up. Different teams were like reaching out and saying like, oh, this is awesome. They're commenting on it. The draft is being held in New York, and the Brooklyn Nets actually invited him to the draft. He will be in the
Why
green
did they
room.
do that?
Because he's gay. He's
Little
made some
publicity, I
inroads
guess.
on social media, and it's a fun little story. And he's going to be there with Victor
It's as fun-
Wembanyama and all
it's
the other
as-
prospects.
It's as fun as drafting Johnny Manziel with the draft pick. That's
Yeah.
what it's as fun.
I don't think they're going to actually.
I understand.
They're not
will
going to
not be
draft
drafted.
him.
I understand.
But he's going to be taking up, I guess, a little bit of space in the green room.
Sounds like a theme from Ted
Har-
Lasso season 3.
A little
to be
harmless fun, and a guy showing that he is
I-
creative and clever. I would hire him if I was a law firm. I'd be looking to hire a guy like that who's willing to read the fine print and discover the loophole. Got him into the NBA draft this week.
I don't know anything about. I don't know how tall he is or anything like that. I
He
don't
looks
even
like
know, I don't
us.
even know what he looks
He
like.
didn't play in middle school. He never played any basketball in his life.
But he's
my
going to be
God.
surrounded by 6'10" first round draft picks on Thursday night, and that's about all the NBA draft talk you probably get on this show.
When's
for
the
rest
draft?
of the week?
Thursday.
Wembanyama.
He arrived in the United States yesterday.
It's pretty much
He will be a San
that's all you need to
Antonio
know.
Spur.
Who's the number 2 guy?
Scoot Henderson.
I was going to say Skeet Davidson.
Close.
That's-
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
not bad.
Skeet.
Skeet.
Woods has done more studying than I thought.
Scooter. Skeeter. Same thing.
All right, feel good story in Major League Baseball yesterday. How about our buddy Joey Votto of the red hot Cincinnati Reds? They won their 9th straight game yesterday, 5-4 over the Rockies. And Joey Votto returned to the lineup, wore a Viking helmet and a cape.
Big way.
Man, dude, 10 months since he last played on the field for the Reds, and he hit a home run. He hit a go-ahead 2-run single, and it was pretty cool to see, man. It was I saw different video angles that the Reds had put out.
May I
The
interest?
crowd noise.
May I interest?
The moment was sick.
May I interest them in a back of the bullpen arm, Luis Garcia, straight up
Garcia for Votto?
for Joey Votto.
Maybe.
This is the thing that I don't understand. I'm happy for Joey Votto. He's back. 10 months, long time to be gone, and
Such a good guy for the sport.
returns. Padres played the Reds beginning of May. 3-game series at Petco Park. Crushed him in 2 of the games. Lost, of course, in 10 innings, 2-1.
That was a
The
brutal
one that they
game.
gave away. There was no doubt in anyone's mind, right? Padres are vastly superior to the Reds.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Then how is it that the Reds have won 9 games in a row? They're over 500 and in first place, and the
I know.
Padres can't even get to 500. I know the Padres are a better team than the Reds. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
You asked for an answer. I'm going to give you an
Okay,
answer because
all right.
we're not hard enough on Bob Melvin.
Oh.
Obviously, their morning show there, Booger and Storch, are so
Did Storch
mean.
lose his job in
Yeah,
Phoenix, and
he's
he's
there
now
now.
with a new co-host in
And-
Cincinnati.
and they're on WKRP in Cincinnati.
He used to work with Snot,
and
now he works with Booger.
Booger and Storch. And who's their manager? David Bell.
David Bell.
Yep.
He's very fiery.
They ream him on a daily, and it's showing. It's showing on the field. So
He calls in every morning.
Yep.
Well, we get another chance for a head-to-head comparison next weekend. Padres head to Cincinnati June 30th, July 1st, and July 2nd.
You get to see Ellie De La Cruz,
For a
who's one of the
3-game
most
series.
exciting players.
Yeah,
in
well, that's
baseball.
helped.
He's
Bringing him up has definitely injected some life into the Reds.
nice to have that. I bet. Nice
It
to
is
have
nice.
a little shot of life. A guy that can run like I don't know, Usain Bolt around the base paths. Guy that
No
turns
kidding.
turns groundouts into singles, singles into doubles, doubles into triples, triples into whatever. Like he flies around the base paths, hits for power. It's really cool. Nice to have that coming up through the system. I bet.
Joey Votto said after the game, "Is a long time coming. Ever since I've watched them put it on each other, I was thinking about how badly I wanted it on me because it's tied to a winning moment, the Viking cap and
Yeah.
the cape and everything like that.
It's a good bit.
And that's exactly what this team is about. This is a different energy than I've experienced in years, maybe in my entire career. The way these guys think about themselves and how hard they play. I wanted to be a part of this. We are all a part of this.
Love it. Love it.
The Will
Right.
Myers factor.
Oh, is he still playing?
I think he's hurt. Yeah.
And then finally, a bit of a downer, but huge story happening right now.
After this uplifting show of the last 3 hours,
No,
you're going to bring us down
the
now,
theme
Paulie?
of the last 3 hours for sure. You guys been following anything about this submarine that
big
was
story last
going
night we had on the
down
news.
to explore the wreckage of the Titanic, and it disappeared. They lost communication, tracking. Like it's a small little submersive, whatever they don't call it. It's not a submarine, but it's like the size of a minivan, and it is somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean.
Terrifying. dude.
Which apparently is a very big place.
It's a
And
submersible.
even if you had an idea of where they were going, kind of hard to find something
Don't
in
they
an
have
ocean.
tracking and stuff? I have tracking on my phone. If I lose my AirPods, I can hit a button.
Not a lot of cell towers in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, I guess.
So the
there's
Titanic
a-
rests 13,000 feet underwater, which is a little over 2 miles down deep. And I saw this old CBS news report about this particular submersive and this company that put it together. And unfortunately for everybody that was on board, it makes a little bit of sense why they couldn't track it and why things might have gone awry. Listen to this.
Service. An experimental submersible
He's
vessel
reading, like, the
that has not been
contract.
approved or certified by any regulatory body.
Oh, good.
And could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death.
Cool.
Where do I sign?
Yeah, bits are fun.
Oh,
So now the reporter's
take
climbing
your shoes
in.
off. That's customary. Okay. Wow. Inside, the sub has about as much room as a minivan.
So this is not your grandfather's submersible.
This is the guy that runs the whole operation.
Okay.
We only have one button. That's it. It should be like an elevator.
It literally looks like an elevator button. There is one button in the submersible, and it's supposed to
Down.
bring it down
Yeah.
and bring it back
Then
up.
back
Down and up.
You would think this is
It's
something
like the
that
Atari controller. Hey, that went
It
left
shouldn't
and
take
right.
a lot of skill.
I'm glad you said that.
The Titan is the
tuned.
only 5-person sub in the world that can reach Titanic depths, 2.4 miles below the sea. It's also the only one with a toilet. Sort of.
It's not a toilet. It looks like a
a bowl.
empty gallon of milk, like a jug inside of a porta potty toilet. Like that's the toilet.
And yet I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
There's like tape with some writing on it.
Bro, run.
We can use
Swim.
these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on! It looks like a PlayStation controller. And he said, "This is how we run."
Operates the submarine.
So they're gone.
So
they are gone.
Why
Gone,
didn't they go
gone.
with like a reputable firm? They went with this discount fly by night, spend like $20 and go down and see the Titanic submarine.
Dude,
Cheaper, maybe?
No, I heard it. I heard they actually pay $250,000 to go down in this makeshift submersible to see the Titanic.
I mean, I could build you a raft or something, get you down there. I can't get you
It's
back
only
up,
done. The Titan is what it's called. They've only done a few expeditions. The first was about 2 years ago. There was an incident last year where communication broke down for a little bit, but they never completely lost contact. But yeah,
How have I not seen this? Not on Twitter. That probably helps.
You don't have to be on Twitter. It was probably the biggest story in the world yesterday.
Yeah, it was on every news channel.
Was it on
all
the
the
Athletic?
time.
Because if it's not
That's
on
a
the
good
Athletic,
point.
I didn't
I'm not
see it.
sure.
Dennis Lynn and
If Ken
Figure it
Rosenthal had
out.
a piece on the submersible lost
That-
in the North Atlantic Ocean.
Lord.
terrifying.
All right, well,
Absolutely.
Good
Paul,
luck.
thank you.
Good luck.
Padres
They
are a
still
bit
haven't been found. Yeah, They're
lost
still
at
down
sea.
there.
No, they're still. That's now okay.
That's one of the biggest fears of my life, by far.
Like I was like letting myself go there and imagine. I'm like,
The panic
I
in
hope
there?
they just
Air
lost.
is running out.
I hope they
minivan?
lost pressure and like or, I
Everyone
don't
just
know,
passed out.
they froze to death. Something.
Something.
I don't know. Arctic waters. Like I hope it was just.
And that
quick
reporter's
and
on there
easy.
too?
What?
That reporter's
No,
on
no,
there?
no. That was an old report.
Oh,
CBS
okay.
News did that was from a
Okay,
while back
okay.
where they were
He didn't
documenting.
go down
Now
there.
someone
No, no,
else
no.
can build a submarine to go down
That
and
is
visit the
terrible.
submarine that never came back up.
That's so sad, man. So sad.
Terrible.
All right, let's get back to some phone calls here. Rest of the way, we still have Padres fans on the line. 833-288-0973. We can spin the blame game wheel a couple more times. I don't think we've come up with every name possible on that wheel that we had earlier. And hopefully things will be better as we look ahead to game 2 of the series tonight against the San Francisco Giants. All ahead after a check of traffic here. Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Did you know you could join Gwen and Chris this Friday at 2 p.m. for a live broadcast at Bootlegger downtown, corner of 8th and Market. They'll be leading you up to the Padres Nationals game at 6:40. I believe I am going to be going to the game on Friday. Stop by for your chance to win Padres tickets, Guns N' Roses tickets. You got $6 Coors Light drafts, $25 buckets of Topo Chico seltzers, 2 o'clock through the end of the game. It's brought to you by Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment, keeping San Diego chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Heard Chris talking about his new diet. He's already lost 20 pounds, he said. I will also be telling you about mine in the coming days. I've lost 10 pounds already.
Thin Ben to win.
Not quite there yet, but definitely. I only started a few days ago, so it's going well. We'll give you the details coming up. But if you're watching, you should see me melting away right in front of your eyes.
It's going to make
over the
life,
next few
It's going to
weeks.
make my life so much harder because now I got to do it.
You have to do it too.
Yeah.
If I do it, you
I
do
can't
it.
be the fat guy and let you get thin. This is not going to work for me, dude. Great. Time to dial it up. That's how it works, though, right?
That
if your wife,
people are motivated by different things.
They are.
Some like to see inspirational change. Some
Yeah.
are motivated by fear of consequences. I don't know what your particular motivation is.
I have a little
Sounds
bit
like
of-
you don't want to. Sounds like a little bit of both. You're
A little bit of
inspired
everything.
by me, but also afraid
of getting surpassed.
Yeah, all
right, I'm hitting the gym today. I wasn't going to, but now I'm going to.
Can we inspire the Padres in a similar way?
I doubt it. If we could have, we would have.
I don't know if Ben starts hitting with runners in scoring position.
Yes, then maybe they'll have to
If I
start
can
doing
just
it as
get those
well.
3 outs there in the night, I had as good a shot as Luis Garcia did. I feel like.
All right, we got a bunch of callers still on the line. Want to talk Padres baseball? 833-288-0973. Let's go to Jed. You are next up. Thanks for holding on, Jed. Welcome to Ben and Woods.
Love that name. I've told you before. I love the name.
boys.
Morning, buddy.
How you guys doing? Are you as frustrated? Well, I know you're as frustrated as I am, so it's a stupid question. But hey, if Bob Melvin's listening, I want to make one point. You throw Luis Garcia at home, and if you have to throw him on the road, you throw him in games that are out of contention one way or the other. And here's the reason why. He's thrown in 24 games this season, 12 at home, 12 on the road. He's got a 3 ERA at home, a 12 ERA on the road. He's thrown 3 more innings at home, given up 10 less hits, 6 less earned runs, and 12 more Ks. He's given up runs to 4 teams this season. 3 teams are in the National League West. Those are the types of matchups you got to be looking at, not just hitter by hitter.
Yeah, no doubt. No, that's really good, good insight there. And it's so long. I'm so far removed from a good Luis Garcia outing. I know he was on the IL for a bit, but I'm so far removed from a good outing. I can't even remember. I know there were some last year. I feel like he got us out of some big jams last year, which is why I kind of thought going into the game yesterday, all right, man, like, it's not going to be. I thought it's not going to be Kerr. I did process of elimination. It's not going to be Honeywell. Gas can. Straight up. The big home run, the big hit. It's not going to be Honeywell. I said it's not going to be Timmy Hill. Timmy Hill's going to get you some outs tomorrow, but I don't think it'll be the last 3. It's not going to be Carlton, more of a long relief guy. Not going to be Nabil Krismat. Nobody really knows what Nabil Krismat's role on this team is right now. I thought maybe it is Garcia. Maybe it is Garcia in the 9th inning. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was Bob Melvin wrong. And Luis Garcia right now, I mean, just looks lost and did not want to be out there last night.
Should Michael Wacha have been asked for one more inning? He threw 93 pitches.
Possibly one more.
Had given up 2 solo home runs in both the 5th and the 6th. He was trending, but he'd only given up 4 hits. Hadn't struck anyone out. But you could have asked him to get to 110 pitches. That's not. I mean, that's a long outing. But the Padres have been giving guys extra days of rest all season long for the idea that when you need them, you can get a little bit more out of a starter. You get Michael Wacha through 7. Timmy Hill obviously was good for 2. You wouldn't have needed to dip into the bullpen at all. We didn't really explore that possibility.
I mean, look, again, I had guys in my DMs last night, and I said, look, Timmy Hill did his job. I probably would have run him back out there myself based on what I had down there. But he did his job. And you have to, if you have a big league team with big leaguers on it, like Jesse Agler said, they need to be held accountable to be big leaguers and throw strikes and not put guys on and not throw wild pitches. And that's his job. His job is to go out there and get 3 outs. You had 2-run lead. You had a little bit of a cushion. And, man, from pitch 1, you knew this is going bad. This is going badly. So
you know what the galling thing is about last night's game? Luis Garcia gets credit for a hold because he entered the game with a lead, and he left the game, and the team was still in the lead by
Walker
3
takes
runs or
an
less.
ND.
Yeah, Walker takes an ND.
Drew
and
Carlton
he
gets the blown save for giving up a shallow fly ball that, with maybe a little better throw, could have ended the game. I had brief hope for a second that appeal was going to be successful. I don't think he left early, but he seemed like it's such a good jump. I was suspicious of how good of a jump that who was it? Yastrzemski got from third
murdered
base
us last night.
Yeah,
Did he reach third on the fly ball
to
to
center that Garcia gave up? Every batter that Garcia faced, even the out, did something good for the Giants. To Jed's point, I never totally understood. I get why hitters can be, they hit better in certain ballparks. You got a batter's eye you like, there's certainly definitely hitters' parks. And I understand why
don't ours?
Why pitchers, some hitters, Tatis, well, obviously they rake in Coors Field, but Tatis hits really well in San Francisco over his career. There are parks where guys hit better on the road. Why is it the pitchers, though, other than like Coors Field? Why does it matter? The mound should be exactly the same. The catcher, the target, there should be really no difference between pitching at home and pitching on the road. Certainly not a 12 ERA versus a 3 ERA difference.
Well, by that logic, what is the difference in winning at home, winning on? It's still a baseball field. Still got to hit the ball. You got to pitch the ball. Catch the ball.
For
all
sure.
that. But yeah, there's different.
I think there's small differences.
Sure.
There's not I am 4 times worse on the road as a pitcher than I am at home, though. That's
you don't see that
a
really
home
in
road
other
thing.
sports, do you? Guys' free throw percentages don't go from 90 to 55 because
they go
they're
down
playing
a
on the
little
road.
bit because you got maybe the fans trying to distract you with the waving of the arms
Sure.
on the road, but not like 90%.
Aaron
to
Rodgers
60%.
doesn't have a 20-1 touchdown interception ratio at home and just completely the opposite.
You
on
might
the
throw
road.
a couple interceptions because the crowd yelling and you didn't get the signal right, but no, it's not night and day. There shouldn't be a night and day difference for Luis Garcia. It doesn't make
it
any
happens
sense.
all the time. There's guys that just hate pitching in certain ballparks, guys that love hitting in certain ballparks. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to it, man. But I just don't know. I don't know what the answer is, man. I wish I did.
I saw before the game they were talking about Tatis and how he loves Oracle Park. He hits so well here, and I feel like we hear that every road trip they go on. Without looking, I'm like, what ball does he not like?
Yeah, no kidding.
He's
I wonder
so
what
good.
his worst ballpark is.
Right.
Even Tony Gwynn had a couple of parks that weren't, like 260 in a couple of them. Now there's a couple where he hit like 430 over his career. So there are different guys who hit better in different places for sure. The pitching, though.
Problem is, man, and he makes the point, the caller Jed, when he called in, here's the problem, man. To have that big of a disparity and to have a guy in your bullpen where you have to say, oh, I can only throw him at home with a lead of 6 or more, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist on other teams. I don't follow enough teams closely enough to realize what the 7th guy in the pen does. Some of them I know, but you have to have guys that you can rely on. You do. As a manager, you have to have guys you can rely on to literally throw strikes, get outs. And right now, when Bob Melvin looks down, I almost said Bob Honeywell. When Bob Melvin looks down in that bullpen and sees the list of names, Tom Cosgrove had been one of those guys he could rely on. Tom Cosgrove had this long scoreless inning streak to start his big league career. He goes down. We have not been able to rebound at all from injuries to this team. We just haven't. And people talking about, Bob Suarez was supposed to be the guy. Yeah, he was, but he hasn't thrown a pitch all season. We knew he was going to be out. Nothing was done to alleviate any of that pain, any of that those needs right now. So that falls squarely on AJ Preller. I mean, it does.
Welcome back, Seth Lugo. We need you tonight to pitch the Padres to a win.
Strong.
We'll talk about the matchup coming up and take our final phone calls. Last chance to get in, 833-288-0973. I think we've taken more calls today than in the last month and a half combined. And it's a good thing. Padres fans, you came strong this morning. I'm Ben Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Hamul Casino. Looking for a genuinely awesome job? Hamul Casino is looking for you. If you're a fun, positive person over 18, check out their job fair. Thursday, June 22nd, 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. They offer competitive pay, generous benefits, and plenty of team member perks. Learn more at hamulcareers.com. All right, last few phone calls incoming, and then we flush last night's loss, and we move on to tonight's game.
I really thought I'd be over it by now, but I'm not. I think I'm getting more mad.
Does it matter at all that the Padres have not lost a series this month, that they've won 8 of their last 13, that the numbers are all trending in the right direction from earlier in the season?
I don't know, man.
Does that carry any weight after a game like last night?
Those numbers that we read earlier about the career with runners in scoring position and how Rugi Odor is the only one over his career average by I mean, really the only
Yet
one
they've
close.
undoubtedly been a little bit better than they were earlier
Sure.
in the season.
Yeah, they have.
They're
A little
trending the
bit.
right way.
8 out of 13 to me feels like a little bit of a stretch.
8 and 5?
5. Like 8 out of that's great. 8 out of 9 is better. Like 7 out of 8, 8 out of 9, 9 out of 10 would be great. It's just going to be hard. It's going to be hard if the offense continues to swing like this or not swing in a lot of their cases.
I mean,
like this.
8 out of 13 all season long is right around 100-win pace.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
That's good.
That's a 100-win team. That would be the best season in Padres history if they could just maintain an 8 out of 13 pace throughout the
8 out of the next
course
13,
of the season.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like much.
Doesn't sound
but
like much.
It actually does add up. All right, we'll wrap things up after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Kia of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Tannick.
Still a few problems here. Crash clearing on the coastline. Southbound 5 before Lacoste. Everything's over the right shoulder. Northbound 5 and accident clearing before Claremont Drive. Now collision on southbound 805 just past Mesa College. That appears to be over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danik with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's get a couple more phone calls in. Sean has been holding on for a while. Sean, you still there? Welcome to Ben & Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, Sean.
Sean did not hold on that long. Let's try Matt.
All right. Hey, Matt.
Let's go to Matt next up on The Fan with Ben & Woods. Hi, Matt.
Fellas, it's Matt with Divine Sports Gospel.
Hey, Matty, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Matt?
What's up, guys? First off, you guys are the best. Way to keep the faith, even though it's tough sometimes. I live in San Francisco now for work. So I was at the game last night. I got a couple things to get off my chest. First off, if you haven't been up to a game there, Oracle's a great park. Secondly, the Pods, man, we had that game won.
Yep.
The one thing that not a lot of people are talking about is I think it was the 5th inning. Tatis gets on, Manny hits a single. We got first and third, 1 out. They got one of their relievers in, middle relief guy. Dander grounds into a double play, which seems like he's doing a lot lately.
Yeah.
Dude, it's simple as this. This guy, Al Scott on Twitter, he's a good follow. He says Padres with runners in scoring position in 2023. 197 batting average, 30th in the MLB. 294 OBP, 30th in the MLB. 335 slug, 30th in the MLB. And 629 OPS, 30th in Major League Baseball. So if you're going to blame anything on this season right now, right, we're 2 games under 500, which is insane with those stats when you really think about it.
Yeah.
That goes to show our defense is incredible. Our bullpen's been really, really good. Last night sucked. Other than that, our bullpen's been great. Michael Wacha might be a Cy Young candidate with how well he's been pitching. You know, Joe Musgrove and Blake Snell have looked awesome of late. I know Yu Darvish is the guy. So, like, you look at these things, but what's going wrong? Manny Machado currently has a 685 OPS. His career OPS is 828. Water has to find its level sooner than later with a guy like Manny. Crone, 679 OPS. He's looked better recently, but, we need Crone to start hitting a little bit more. Grish is just a black hole at the bottom of the lineup, but he's good defensively. So we look at these guys, right? And with how Tatis is playing, with how Soto's been playing recently, sooner than later, the whole team's going to start hitting. We're going to be all right. We're only 2 games back. That Giants team is not better than us. The Dodgers are not better than us. The Arizona Diamondbacks, I call them the Linsanity backs because they're going on this crazy run right now. Once they start playing, it's a long season. I think we're going to be all right. We just got to make the playoffs because once this hitting becomes 15th in the league, just average,
Yeah, 15th.
we're going to win so many games.
That's the stupidest part. Great call, Matty. Love what you guys do as well.
In case you're wondering, Xander Bogaerts is grounded into 10 double plays. That's the 7th most in all of baseball.
I think Manny's
Number one. 12th. He's grounded into a major league leading 12 double plays.
There's your 3-4. You know,
it's 22 double plays. That's 44 outs from those two guys on 22 swings this season.
Crazy, man.
In the middle of your lineup.
I know we turn a ton too. Our defense has been spectacular this year. A pleasure to watch them play. But yeah, man, the hitting, like and Matty put it perfectly. Just be middle of the road. Just be 15.
Now, GIDP is a tricky stat because to ground into a double play, one thing you can't do is strike out. And some guys don't ground into double plays that much because they strike out a ton, and it avoids the old rollover 6-4-3. Manny makes some contact, but he does hit hard ground balls a lot, and that can result in double plays, as does Xander now, apparently. Didn't always do that in his career, I don't think.
Man, the Xander Bogaerts in Boston was just a completely different animal. Completely. Manny last night missing 2
By the way, when Manny,
absolute cookies.
When Manny got here his first season,
terrible.
Wasn't Manny yet.
Yeah.
When Soto obviously got here last season, wasn't Soto yet. You do have to give, I know it feels like, oh, he's in here 2.5 months.
I know it sucks, but the problem comparing like Xander's first year to Manny's first year is Manny's first year wasn't in a year of, 2 seasons for your window of real window of championship.
But that's not Xander's fault. I mean, a lot of guys do.
No, I'm just saying that's why it hurts a lot more.
Period. But yeah, definitely we're feeling it more. You could stomach Manny struggling.
Nobody picked the 2019 or 2018 Padres.
No.
2019 was
and Manny could have been the MVP and they still wouldn't have made the playoffs.
He adjusted fine when he got here. He was the hottest hitter on the team. And now clearly the wrist and things like that are bothering him. And if you can't if you can't help the team, then you're hurting the team, and I would hate, it's funny because I would say, man, I would hate to take his bat out of the lineup because who replaces it? But his bat right now, I mean, again, last home run came on May 23rd. You're barking down, you're looking 3 days at a month without hitting a home run. If you're Xander Bogaerts, who, he's not a 40 home run guy by any stretch, but he's also not a 7 home run guy either. So
Glove's been great.
Glove's been pretty good.
But you got to think if you might get more out of the lineup if you had Odor at second and slid Kim over to short right now.
I want to get to Sean because he called back. He said he was there for like 2 hours. He was talking and we couldn't hear him.
Buddy.
We just went to him. So let's try him again. Sean, you are on the air and I do hear you.
Oh, okay. Great, guys. Yeah. Look, I just want to say this. Here's my take on last night. Well, I agree with both of you, but just with one difference. And actually, in the last half an hour or so, you just said it, and you hadn't said it all morning. What it was that I was going to say, and I'll still say it, of course. It was that I felt, okay, I'll say this. All 4 of my quarters go to Bob Melvin. And I also want to say that I give 4 errors to Bob Melvin as well, too. The first error would be taking Waka out of the game too early. And second error would be bringing in Garcia.
Yep.
And the third error would be leaving Garcia in too long, way too long. And along that line,
hold on.
I was listening to Jesse and Tony last night, and Jesse was saying,
Sean, he's got to go 3. So you know that. He has to go 3 batters.
Garcia cannot
come out until he faces 3 batters. He left him in for 1 batter too long, and he walked that guy. So, yeah.
That's a new rule. That's right.
Yeah.
The new rule.
It's the worst. It's the worst rule in baseball. But by the way,
yes,
if I'm Bob Melvin and that rule doesn't exist, and I watch that first AB, decent chance I go out and pull him immediately.
I pull him instantly.
I'm not allowed.
First 4 balls, he's done.
We're talking like Sanchez is setting up inside on the left side of the plate, and it's 2 feet on the right side of the plate.
Honestly,
he wasn't even close.
It's cheating.
Say he's hurt,
but I got a signal from my pitcher like. You double over in pain. Your appendix
just burst.
Yeah. Oh no. He's writhing on the ground. Send the trainer out because we need to take Luis Garcia out of the game.
Absolutely.
Wow. Is that an elbow? What happened there, Luis Garcia?
Did you tweak a groin? I thought I heard a groin. Dude, no kidding.
How many times have you seen that in soccer in the late minutes of the game?
No kidding. I'm telling you, that rule murders me. It murders me. It's the one where I'm just like, and I think, and like he said, like Sean forgot. Sean forgot. And I think a lot of people in my DMs, they forgot last night as well.
That conversation's been had in coaching offices,
100%,
and front offices in baseball. Like, if we want to send a guy in for a batter and we don't think he's got it, but we need to take him out, do we have a game plan to fake an injury?
Correct.
In that. I haven't seen it executed in months, but I got to think that conversation's taking place around baseball.
But Dave Roberts got a signal. I bet he does.
No one say anything. They can investigate us all they want. As long as we keep a tight ship and no one talks.
Yeah, he tweaked the knee.
We'll be good to go.
Prove he didn't.
Prove it.
Was he going to go on the IL? No, it feels better. Bounce back.
Yeah, it happens all the
It
time.
happens all the time. I don't know what the hell it was. Something in his shoulder, but says he feels fine, so he's good to go. No, Sean, I hear you. Believe me, all you needed to see, and Bob Melvin, I'm telling you, there was a moment in the game. It's right when I texted Ben and Paul. It was he walked the first guy. Or was the first guy hit? It was
walked.
Yeah,
four pitches. The fourth one was actually a strike, but the other three were so bad. The umpire was like, not giving you one on the corner.
No question. So he walks the guy on 4 pitches. Next guy comes up, gets that knock into the gap. And you saw Bob Melvin turn sharply in the dugout. And he knows it's over. I know it's over. We all know it's over. He knows he doesn't have it. He still has to leave him in for one more because that would be the third. I don't think that went well. And then the fourth, I didn't get the fourth. I didn't get leaving him in for the fourth. He walked him, thank God.
That's why I replied to you guys. I said at 2-0, I would have just said, put him on.
Yeah, don't make this guy bounce another pitch, let another run come home. And no, I hate that rule. Don't tell me how I can win a game with if I want to burn through 14 arms, let me. If I want to go to Darvish, like for a batter, I should be able to.
When games were 3 hours and 20 minutes a few years ago, and they were trying to figure out how to speed up the game,
this was
made a little bit of sense. Games are plenty fast now.
100%.
Don't need that rule anymore.
Oh,
kill that rule. Burn it to the ground.
Yeah, leave it for dead. It's just
would Bob Melvin have had Drew Carlton already up and hot after
the
4 pitches
after
of
4
Luis
pitches.
Garcia? I wouldn't show much faith in your guy to go, okay, you're going in there, but if you throw 2 balls,
You're
Drew's
out.
ready to go, coming right in.
You almost have to have that bullpen heated. Just both
Everybody
both
up.
barrels and everyone ready and all hands on deck. But it's the worst part about being a manager. No question, managing that bullpen.
All right. I thank everybody who took the time to call in today. If we didn't get to you, I'm sorry, but that's as good as we can do on phone calls on a 4-hour program. I do want to end. You've got Seth Lugo coming back tonight to make the start with the state of the Padres bullpen. Now, hopefully, those back-end guys are available today. I wasn't expecting a ton out of Lugo. I was reminded, though, that he has gone 6 in almost all of his starts this year.
Yep.
He has actually been a guy who's given the Padres decent length. Now, does that hold after being on the injured list for about a month or so?
Yeah, 6
that he's been gone. But it wasn't an arm injury. It's not like he had to build up his arm. He was keeping his arm strong, he said. In fact, working with Ruben Niebla on new slider, sharpening, getting better while he was actually rehabbing from the calf injury. So hopefully we see a Seth Lugo that was as good or maybe even a little better than the one we saw before he went on the injured list tonight.
Tonight's one of those nights, man. DeSclafani's got about he's got like a 4.13, 4.14, somewhere around there, ZRA. Certainly a guy the Padres can handle if they play up to their
The Giants have won 8 in a row. They're feeling great. You had a chance to
to
quash all
kill
of their momentum, if you believe in such a thing, last night.
No, I believe.
Now you have to do it again today. You have to start all over and show the Giants like you did for 8.5 innings. Yeah, we have no problem coming in and doing our thing and beating you on your field. Now you got to do it all over again tonight.
Exactly. So DeSclafani, you got to imagine their bullpen's probably a little taxed after last night as well. So get to the starter early, impose your will a little bit, be aggressive, attack, be ready to hit. Fernando and Soto and Machado.
Keep going the other way, Juan. I like that.
100%.
I like what we saw from that guy last night 100%. For sure.
Keep it up.
All right, all guests on Benno Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads.
By the way, you will have Steven Wilson ready to go. You will have Nick Martinez ready to go. And you will have Josh Hader ready to go. Everyone got a nice little extended break last night. They'll be ready. And no excuses to lose this game. None. So new streak starts now.
Win tonight with all those 3 guys.
Yep.
Win tomorrow. And then we can go through it all again on Thursday in the series finale.
Exactly right.
About who's going to come in the last 3 innings for the Padres. And we'll see if Bob Melvin makes any changes from what happened last night.
I would imagine that he will. I don't think you'll see Luis Garcia in a high leverage situation anytime soon, if at all.
His next appearance will be in a 5-run game, one way or another.
I would say 9.
9-run game
minimum.
That's
All right.
if we don't have a phantom injury.
All right. Tomorrow, looking forward to it. Grant Brisby, who is now with The Athletic, is going to join us. One of our favorites. Never have time for him, but he's going to be with us in this hour, 9 o'clock hour of the program. So that'll be fun. We've got an AJ Adam Jones Wednesday as well. Stay tuned for all of it. For Paul Reindl, Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Coach Braden coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.